Welcome to the GameChanger 00100 show. I'm your host, GameChanger, and today we have a very special guest to talk about the Fresh and Fit comments. Now this lady needs no introduction. However, here it is.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Welcome to the GameChanger
Okay.
00100 show. I'm your host, GameChanger, and I'd like to thank you for coming to this impromptu show. So, we have a very special guest today, Ms. Rashida Strober, soon to be Mrs. Rashida such and such. My guest, Jerry, congratulations on that. And we're going to discuss the fresh.
Jerry. What did you say, Jerry?
His name not Jerry?
What Jerry got to do with this? No, Jerry is my brother.
Oh, crap. Oh, crap.
No, and I've already gotten married.
Oh, well, dang. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
I did not get an invite or nothing because I'm
Well,
dark
nobody
skinned.
did. Nobody did.
Nah, it's because I'm dark skinned, basically. I bet you some
No,
light skinned people got an invitation.
no, no, no. It was a very private, quick affair.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. Well, congratulations
Thank you.
on this affair. So, greatly appreciate that. Now, um, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're the world's first dark skinned activist. So, please tell us about yourself a little bit and about what darkism is.
Yes. Well, first of all, dark skin activism is a movement that I started um, before there was social media, before people started talking about colorism and dark skin. I actually started this movement in 1998 while I was an undergraduate student, and the reason I started it is because I was always trying to understand why did my family, which is where it started at, why did they treat me differently for having dark skin, and then treat one particular light skinned, good haired cousin in my family. They treated this person better, and I wanted to understand why. And so that led me on a quest to answer my own question by just talking about colorism openly and honestly. And I had an opportunity in '98 to speak during Harambe African American History Month, and I decided to talk about this whole dark skin thing, and that's when I gave birth to dark skin activism. Now, dark skin activism is a phrase that I came up with out of my own head because there's a lot of people that seems to think that it's not my phrase, that I don't own it. I actually do. I own a trademark, and I don't mean an activist that's dark skinned when I say dark skinned activist. What I mean is an activist that advocates against darkism. I call it darkism, and some people call it colorism. And I am the first person to ever be an activist to fight against darkism and colorism. It's never been done before me doing it as the dark skin activist. So dark skin activism consists of me doing things like writing books about only dark skin, which I've written about 4 books, which include Darkism, How to Be the Hottest Dark Skinned Chick on the Planet, uh, A Dark Skinned Woman's Revenge, and Token Dark Girl. And also a play. There was a play that I wrote called A Dark Skinned Woman's Revenge that I've actually been touring through, self producing my own tour for a very long time. Like I said, before there was social media, before there was even Dark Girls. Shout out to Bill Duke, but I was doing my thing before there was Dark Girls. And so social media came along, and in 2010, I brought the first channel to talk about colorism to social media. No one else was doing it. And in about 2014, Tommy Sotomayor contacted me via Facebook because someone had sent him information on the work that I was doing, which
Mhm.
again, I just took that work from the grassroots level um, that existed before there was social media and then brought it to social media once it started to pop off. So I go on his show, and somewhere around 2014, after he contacted me, that's very important. I didn't even know who he was. And the interviews went south, but the 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 good thing was people began to know the online media masses, black folks began to get an idea of what I was talking about, and I got opposition for it because it was something, it was so new. People didn't really want to talk about dark skin issues. So then 2015 came along, and I was continuing to do the grassroots work of dark skin activism, which also includes counseling of light skinned, dark skinned people, mixed race people about colorism. And there was this one person that I was counseling. I've told the story many times before. Me and her are still great friends to this day. I will not say her name, but she's a dark skinned boyfriend had left her for a light skinned woman, but would come back and ask from her for money and use her and go give it to the light skinned uh, woman. So she was like, I was counseling her about that. Anyway, she is the one that came to me and said, "Have you seen Kendrick Lamar's fiance?" And I was like, "No." And I went and Googled him and said what I needed to say about him. And that went viral to millions across social media, and even making it to the Breakfast Club where Charlemagne and that light skinned chick running her fucking mouth, which she doesn't deserve the position she's in, but she's got it because of light skin privilege. But anyway, they made me donkey of the day. And so then what happened was black people disparaged me and mocked me, but then everybody started copying me. People don't want to admit it, but this is the truth. If you do your own research and you're objective, you'll find that what everything I'm saying is the truth. And so now that's how we get to in 2020. You got celebrities, reality TV stars, all these people now jumping on the colorism bandwagon because I started it and forced the agenda and forced people to talk about it and took the hits for it. And
Okay.
so, yeah, that's a brief history. So I'm writing a book called "Inventing Dark Skin Activism: The Rashida Schrober Story," and that's that's the story in brief.
Okay. So speaking of more mainstream people, you know, doing stuff about colorism, darkism, and things like that, or working against your agenda to increase the perception of dark skinned women everywhere. I want you to take a listen at this and tell me what you think of it, okay?
Sure.
All right. So before I get started, fair use. And let me share. Oops, share screen. All right.
Hello subs. Footage resurfaces of popular podcast, Fresh and Fit, saying they aren't night riders. They don't mess with dark skinned women. JC88 wrote, "Yeah, they're gonna regret that ignorant ass statement in the future. They could have said black women who act like Shaniqua, but they made it about color not attitude, SMH. Check this out and leave me a comment after watching this clip. Fair use, fair use."
What about the black dating app called Black? Oh, it's funny. I never used that one, bro. But hey, man.
I mean, hey, bro, if you want to date a bunch of Shaniquas, go for it, man.
LaQuisha.
Yeah, like me and Fresh aren't really down with the brown like
Nah,
that.
man.
We ain't night riders.
Nah,
So,
bro, I'm good.
Sometimes if they're, red bone, but like in general, me and Fresh don't dabble in the dark, if you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna stop right there for a second. Um, Now here we don't really use that word. We don't throw that word around. Frankly, I don't really know the context of it. Why is it called red bone when they're clearly yellow or just a lighter shade of brown? But so it started off with Shaniqua, things like that, which they're talking about like a particular personality set, I'm assuming. But then they said maybe if she's red bone.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a dark skin activist, do you see stuff like this far too often?
Oh, of course. Well, first of all, they imply that only a dark skinned woman's name could be Shaniqua. But when I was in elementary school, and me and her reconnected in high school, I had a best friend who was very light skinned with green eyes named Shaniqua. So they need to they're gonna have to explain that. So I think you need to be accurate. If you're gonna come for dark skinned women and talk badly about us, be have some accuracy there. So that's number one. Here in Shaniqua, that's a name that I've seen a lot of light skinned females have. Shaniqua.
Okay, so I think that they're talking about a personality type from the
Well,
people named Shaniqua. I get what you're saying, that light skinned women are named Shaniqua as well. I'm pretty sure that there's some dark skinned women or white women named Shaniqua too. You know,
yeah, but still, you said a personality type. I've seen the Shaniquas that are light skinned be loud and ghetto and ignorant and all the things that they were trying to imply that dark skinned women have, or ways that dark skinned women would behave. I've seen those personality characteristics with light skinned women named Shaniqua. But go ahead.
No, just thinking that first of all, I strongly agree that it can happen with that. But according to them, it seems like they would tolerate that behavior if it came from a quote unquote red bone.
They would. That's the darkism, and that's the problem. Um, depending on the day and how I feel, um, this type of stuff makes me extremely rageful and angry. Um, and I think a lot of dark skinned women, they're angry too, but because they don't want to be seen as the stereotype, they don't want to say nothing. I mean, I feel like every dark skinned woman should be enraged that black men, or well, I don't know if these guys are black, but men would tolerate behavior from a light skinned woman that they wouldn't tolerate from a dark skinned woman. And I don't think that dark skinned women should take that. I think we should
Now,
go
I'll go.
ahead.
No, no, you got it.
I'm just saying, I think we should speak out against darkism like this, and guys like, they know different than what was that rapper Young Bird. He said he don't want no dark butts. Same thing, different set of fools. But dark skinned women got to start boycotting them. I've been said this. Whether they be social media personalities, um, singers, rappers, actors, whatever. Dark skinned women got to start coming down hard on people like this and not be tolerant of them.
Okay, now I'm gonna segue a bit because you said something about dark butts, and tell me if this is colorism because this is me personally. As many of you know, and as I'm pretty sure you know, Rashida, I am a spanker. I like to spank women with various objects and my hands. Now, that being said, I do prefer lighter butts for the purpose of spanking that because you can see the results of it a lot easier. You can see the handprint, you can see the you can see the marks of your spanking a lot quicker and easier on a lighter skinned person. Now, does that make me a colorist?
Well, I don't call it a colorist because that's a term
Or
that
excuse
has
me,
been.
does
I
it does
call it.
it
I call it the darkest. And yes,
does
it
that make me a
does.
darkest?
Yes, it does. But at the same time, if you want to be abusive and spank
It's not
on a
abusive.
light skinned woman and beat on their ass, they can have that. They can have it.
It's not abusive. It's
Well, you saying you talk about spanking and seeing the handprints and this, that, and the third. If you, they can have that.
mhm.
They can. I mean, there is an element of darkism there. It is, but at the same time, sometimes darkism is good. They can have that.
That's good.
They can
Okay.
have it.
All right. Let's continue.
Okay, so last one, guys. Now we're not going to mention names for certain reasons, right?
Yes.
For a bunch of legal implications. But if you guys are in our community, we talk about this. Extent which are traits of feminine women. What's her gram?
What's your Instagram?
You got like a
love
feminine-
today.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I ain't gonna like this. Just keeping it real. I don't really date black girls. It's not because like most black girls are like.
Now, would you classify that portion right there? And this guy is completely black. The one on the left is Sudanese, which has because it's a country in Africa which borders the Black Sea. It's well, let's just say he's black too. Let's just for the sake of this conversation. Um, he's African descent. He said that he definitely doesn't date black women.
Hmm.
Now, why do you think he feels so comfortable freely saying that?
Because a lot of times, first of all, he's a black piece of shit. Now, I'm telling y'all, there's no. This is not scripted. If I feel like going in on somebody, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. First of all,
please.
he's a black piece of shit. He's
Mhm.
a piece of trash. But one thing I noticed that these trashy ass black men, I'm not talking about all of them, I'm talking about the ones like this dude. What they try to do is they get around these light skinned women, and some of these light skinned bitches, they co-sign this bullshit because they want to sit on, this hierarchy of privilege. They get around these women and they talk shit about darker skinned women and black women to appease these women and to continue to make these women feel good and to get some kind of points with these women. Okay, so that's exactly what's going on here. You know, this self-hating piece of shit black bastard came from. It's very obvious to me because he looks dark. He's darker skinned. Your mama and your daddy, one of them probably dark skinned, but some of these black men like this will do anything that they can to disparage darker skin. And I think it's all in the effort to appease light skinned women and to continue to make them feel good. And some of these light skinned women, they're in fucking collusion with it. Them bitches co-sign it because it's about keeping and maintaining their fucking privilege. And so, that's a big part of the problem. Black men wanting to please and keep light-skinned women in a social place that's above dark-skinned women. That's really what it is at the end of the day. And again, it's just pure self-hate. This isn't rocket science. But again, what dark-skinned women got to do is stop sitting up here saying, I ain't worried about it, and confront these motherfuckers head on. The black men and the light-skinned women. We can't let them off the hook either. Fuck all that you jealous shit. Who cares if somebody think you jealous? Fuck that. Everybody needs to be confronted. Head the fuck on.
Okay. Now, so I get what you're saying. You're saying that this darker skinned man, who is, I believe he's shorter than average, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong in the chat room, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because that's looked at as something that women are particularly attracted to physically. You're saying that he is disparaging black women, darker skinned black women, for the sake of the women, because I see five white women and one lighter skin or brown skinned woman in the frame. You're saying that he's saying that in order to, get in good with one of those ladies. That's what you're saying?
Of course, he's trying to. And if you look at those women, they got strong man faces. They ugly as fuck, and they sit their ass up in there, and they laugh and they smile, and they bask in their privilege. So I'm not gonna just only hold him accountable for this. I'm gonna hold the women accountable too, because they sit, all of them light skinned. It looked like one of them, she probably brown skinned, and she just kind of sitting over there. But all them bitches need to be confronted. Even if it comes down to,
But they're not doing anything.
I
They're
don't care.
just
I don't care.
Okay.
If you sitting there listening to this foolishness and you smiling, like I see one of the ones, she over there smiling, light skinned women be co-signing this shit. They're not innocent. White women are not innocent. All of them guilty, and all of them need to, at some point, we need to confront verbally, and if it takes it, physically. I'm not even above all this fuck all that. Sometimes that's what you have to do.
Wait a
Because
minute. Wait a minute. So,
okay.
are you telling me that you go out and you beat up white women, or you
No,
go?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying go out and be. I'm saying for people like this sitting in a setting like this. If I was sitting in there listening to this shit, everybody will get confronted, and I'm not above getting physical with people if that's where it has to go to.
So you do.
Because
You
sometimes, wait, no, the dark skinned women are being attacked. The whole thing is, why is these niggas sit up on these fucking panels and they got the need? If you don't like black women, keep our name out your fucking mouth. And if the light skinned women gonna sit their ragged ass up there and listen to that bullshit, then everybody needs to be confronted. We can't be nice about this shit no more. We dark skinned women trying to be seen as, oh, I'm not bothered. Fuck that. You are bothered by it.
Mm-hmm.
Your daughter's gonna be bothered by it. The little kids coming up gonna be bothered. We gotta stop this passive shit. If a bitch need to get drugged, a bitch need to get drugged.
Okay, well let me ask you this. I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a second. Let's just say he did the opposite and say, I only mess with dark skinned black women.
Well, he should say that.
Okay,
He
he should
should
say
say
that.
that because that's the rightful
However,
place of the black man.
however,
Before white people brought their ass up into Africa, guess who black man was with? With dark skinned black. This shit that he's doing is abnormal as fuck. He got a fucking problem. Okay? He is the problem. So saying that I only mess with black women and dark, that's your natural state of affairs. Why would I be mad about that? You're supposed to say that.
well, okay, what I'm saying is, let's just say he said that, right? I'm not saying you would be mad about that. Let's just say he said that for a second. Would you assure that, first of all, I want to point out that it's very bizarre that a man's never spanked you. But
Well,
but
I didn't say that now.
oh, well, you making it seem like I'm Ike Turner. But you
No,
can make it
I
Ike
didn't mean it.
Turner.
Wait a minute. I didn't. Some of these people in the comment. Let me tell you. Somebody tell me something. Listen, I ain't mean it that way. Good Lord, if y'all want clarity, just ask me for clarity, and I'll
Okay,
tell you.
give me some clarity because I
I'll
don't
tell
feel
you
like
what
Ike
I mean.
Turner. Yeah.
Now, don't put. I don't like people to put words in my mouth. That's when stuff start going south. Okay,
Okay.
but anyway.
But okay, let's just say for the sake of this conversation, right? That Fresh said, I only mess with dark skinned black women. Would you assure, because he lives out there in Miami, would you make sure that he finds one? Like, would you help? First of all, if you were single, let's start here. If you were single, would you do them?
Well, I gotta look at him. Which one did you say was Fresh? Hold on one second.
Yeah, it's the one on the left or on the right. Excuse me.
I need to see him a little bit up close and personal, but I'm always for helping. If I can help a black man find a suitable dark skinned black woman or black woman, I'm always for that.
If
Of
he
course.
looks decent, right?
What'd you say?
I said if he looks good, you're for that.
Well, no, it's not necessarily about if he looks good. It's not
Well,
everything
that
ain't
was the
about
first thing
looks.
you asked. You say, I have to see what he looks like. So this is what he looks like. Where the dark shirt with the word CEO on it. That's what he looks like.
Well, he's a handsome dark skinned man. He just got a lot of he got a lot of self hate. He probably don't even like the way he look. That's why he's sitting up there caping in front of them light skinned chicks and them white women with his simple minded ass.
Okay. So you would assure that he has somebody. That's fair enough.
If I could, of course I would. The whole goal in the black men and black women need to marry each other. That's the whole goal. That's why it actually enrages me, and I don't understand how any dark skinned black woman. We got to stop saying we don't care. Look at what he's doing. He's sitting up in there with a bunch of light skinned women and white women talking shit about dark. These motherfuckers. I'm trying to tell you, they need to be drugged. I don't listen. This is just it's becoming too much. You can't keep disrespecting your own women. You look like a goddamn fool.
Okay.
Do we see white men up here talk about I don't date I don't know, blonde-haired women or red-haired women? They don't do it. Black men be the only one doing this shit.
No, I hear them say that. I hear them say I don't mess with brunettes or something like that.
Yeah, but no, it ain't to the extent and to the level that black men do, and you doing it to try to win over cool points from what I'm seeing here. Them look like the two on the right. They look like men. Are we sure those are not two white men? They look like men, man-faced bitches. You trying to?
It's the same logic, Rashida. Like when a white guy says I don't mess with brunettes, he's basically broadcasting to blondes that they have exclusivity for him, or that they have
the same thing. It ain't self-hatred. Some black men, I ain't gonna say all of them.
Well, it is if he's blonde.
Some black men. The thing is, I have a problem with because I had this happen to me when I was working. I remember when I first moved back to Florida in 2008, and I was a manager at this got this job just by walk. I was walking in Walmart one day. White lady walked up to me. She said, "Oh, I think you would make a great manager for the photography store." I'm like, "What the fuck?" And so she brings me over and talks to me, and basically just gives me a management job. So I go in for training, and it was a black man there, a tall, slender black man. I never forget him.
Was he dark?
Well, he was brown skinned.
Okay.
And it was a Hispanic chick there. And this motherfucker was doing stuff similar, trying to get cool points with the Hispanic chick by acting cold towards me, and I confronted went off on everybody. I don't play that shit with people. No black man is gonna disrespect me in the presence of a light-skinned woman or a non-dark-skinned woman and think I will beat both of y'all asses. I'm not gonna fucking play with you. So
Now,
I ended up confronting both of them motherfuckers, and when I unleashed the dragon, bitches better fucking move, which is exactly what happened. Because it's just disrespectful. As a black man, you don't have to disrespect a dark-skinned black woman to gain points with a non-black. Well, you don't have to do that. And it's high time that dark-skinned women don't. I'm not telling y'all to do like me or whatever. You could talk, but I'm saying don't take that shit off these motherfuckers, because what they're trying to do is castigate us into second-class citizenship when we are actually fucking number one, bitch. We are the majority worldwide. We are the color of the mother that gave birth to you bitches. Y'all watered down versions of us. So we have to check these niggas and these females and let them know this is what it is and this is what you're going to do.
now, we're not the majority worldwide.
Yes, we are.
So
we are in the majority worldwide.
There's over 2 billion Asian people in the world. That's the majority.
When I say majority worldwide, I'm talking people of color. People of color are in the majority worldwide. That is a fact.
Okay, fair enough. And so just my 4 cents says, wait, doesn't she have a high yellow boyfriend? What's the difference between red bone and high yellow?
Oh, look, both the terms used interchangeably. To me, they're the same thing. And yes, my husband is light skinned. He sure lives. Light skinned and fine as hell. Sure lives.
Well, there you go. All right, and BL90, thanks a lot, brother. He says, man, I was used, discarded, and belittled by a black woman, and I'm supposed to feel sorry for y'all? Ha!
Well, no, I'm not saying. Listen, I'm a fair person. I don't believe that black women should go around belittling black men and just being nasty for no reason.
They should be drugged.
No, that's not the. Let's talk context. I'm talking about when you disrespect your woman in front of other women that are not black. That is what I'm talking about. But the thing is, I don't condone black women treating black men bad either. I believe that all this bullshit about divesting and leaving, that's some genocidal bullshit. Mm-hmm. What I'm trying to do is bring us all together, because I believe that the black man belongs to the black woman and the black woman belongs to the black man, and we need to know how to treat each other. We need to take care of our men. We need to do what we're supposed to. We see, people got a misconception about me. They think because I cuss and huff and fuss, they think that I'm not, which I really don't give a fuck, but I'm just addressing the assumptions, the false assumptions. They think that I'm not feminine, and I'm not. Let me tell you something. You don't get a man to chase you and marry you if you're not all of that. Trust me, bitch. Trust me. And some of you bitches, I could take your man. I could fucking take. No, I'm serious. And it ain't even about looks. It's about how I am in the fucking household. Okay. So
now, could you take him from the white women that are there?
Absolutely, I could if I wanted to, but I don't want his ass. He contaminated. That motherfucker we need a re-education on him.
Okay. All right. And BL90 says, called you a colorism crybaby. I'm pretty sure you heard that before.
Well, yeah. Well, I really don't give a fuck. What else is new? Give me something new.
All right. Well,
because I'm not going to stop saying the same thing until this situation changes, until black men realize their rightful place is with the black woman. Then, I'm not gonna stop talking. I'm gonna keep talking and putting my foot on motherfuckers' neck, making people angry, because I want you to be angry. I want you to be mad, because dark-skinned women have been mad for years, and a lot of them are not as open and expressive as me because they're afraid of these motherfuckers on the internet nowadays and the stereotypes. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't fucking care. I'm not the one for that. I'm gonna tell you exactly straight up what it's gonna be, and you don't have to like it, because eventually that's how it's gonna be. The black man is gonna come back to the dark-skinned black woman the way that he's supposed to. it's already happening, but
How
we just
so?
have to keep pushing the agenda.
How's it already happening? I'm curious.
Well, hell, I just like I just said, I just got married.
True.
I just got married. I got a nice, a beautiful fucking rock on my. Shout out to my baby, a beautiful rock on my motherfucking finger.
Your light skin husband.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to be honest with y'all, just let me keep it 100. If you listening, you already know that this is true. But I've had a bunch of fucking marriage proposals, a bunch of them.
So
Yeah,
if
he
you're
wasn't
getting
the
all
only
these,
one.
so if you're getting all these marriage proposals from all these different color penises, why are you? What's the complaint? I don't get it. How's
Because
it
I have to
fun?
make it better. I have to fight. It's still inequality, and I
But
have to make it better
what I'm
for the
saying is,
dark skinned women that's coming behind me.
but you have more proposals. Dark skinned women behind you, they have more proposals than they can do with. They get more. They get more rings offered to them than they have fingers, but yet they're still complaining.
No, that's not necessarily true. It's still the light skinned woman
It's
that's
true
at
for
the.
you. You just said you had a bunch of a
Listen,
bunch of marriage
what
proposals. Are
I'm
you saying
saying,
that you would have had more?
what I'm saying is on a whole, it can't just be about Rashida Strober. I'm fighting for dark skinned women all over, especially the ones that's coming behind me, the little girls that's being born. They're gonna grow up and they're gonna be women. They need suitable black husbands. So it's bigger than Rashida Strober, okay? And light skinned women and white women, they still on top. And we have to have it has to be equal.
Okay.
And that's what I'm fighting for, equality.
Okay. What's in it for me as a black man? Like, say I was to give you that equality. What do I get from it?
Well, I can only speak for myself, but I can tell you, I'm me personally, I'm a very domesticated woman. I'm a very submissive. I'm a very submissive woman. I pretty much
Yeah. Okay.
do what my husband tells me to do. I know I may not seem that way,
You
but
don't.
shit. Well, he's Muslim, so that's another thing. I
Okay.
love Muslim black men because my father was Nation of Islam for 30 plus years. And so I get along very, very well with black males. They know how to respect and take care and provide. They know what to do. And as you know, just common human decency. You as a woman, you want to reciprocate that. You want to make sure that you please your husband in every way that you can. And that's what I believe. That is how I think. That is how I operate with my own husband. We have been together for like 5 years. So, I mean, that's
I
what's
can
in it.
appreciate a woman like that. And as you mentioned, your persona online does not really match that. But I've talked to you enough to know that it's a little different.
Well, the thing
And
is, this is me.
I
Because
get it.
my
No,
husband knows how I feel about it. He know
yeah,
how I
you're
am.
passionate
Trust
about
me.
the
He
topic.
know me inside and out. But
You're
when I mean,
passionate about the topic. I get it. I get what you're saying. Let me read some of these super chats. Sweet Melody Speaks says, "Congratulations on your marriage, Rashida Strober. Hey,
hey,
GC,
darling,
check your Cash App." So,
thank
check
you.
your Cash App. Okay. PD says, "Is she dragging dark women with light skinned men?" Uh, Apparently, a lot of the brothers aren't feeling the fact that she married a light skinned dude.
Well,
I don't care, but
I don't understand why. Because I used to be married to a dark skinned man for 10 years. That he cheated on me, and I tried to save my marriage, and he didn't. No dark skin. After I divorced my dark skinned husband, who I was married to for 10 years, no dark skinned men proposed to me or try to get with me like that. They
now
didn't.
did he cheat on you with a darker skinned woman?
Brown skin.
Oh dang! So he just went lighter. Did he later cheat on her with a lighter skinned woman? And then, no, I'm joking.
I have no idea what that man doing now. I don't really care.
Okay. All right. So AM1 is from my area, and he's also light skinned. It says, please ask the guest, worst case scenario, who needs who more? Who is better suited to survive in the world when the world collapses? So I think he's talking about more men, women, not dark, light in this question.
I'm trying to understand his question. Who is more suited to say that again?
So say if there's like a structural collapse of of society. There's a societal collapse. I think he's asking who's more suited um, to survive, man or woman.
Well, that's a very good question, and I don't know. That's something I have to think long and hard about because the men are supposed to be protectors. They're supposed to protect the women. So I would think that I would want the men to survive to protect me. But women are very strong. We take a lot of shit, and we can do a lot of things. And I'm not on that feminism stuff at all, because
That's good.
I need a man, and I like having one. I like y'all, so I'm not on that other extra stuff. But I think that women, we just have a natural capacity to survive a lot of things like childbirth, stuff like that. That's very physically painful and emotionally painful because we are able to talk to each other. Women like to express their feelings, and that helps a lot. So I don't know, but my thing is I would think that I would want the men to be stronger than me because I think that's their role to take care of me
Okay.
as a woman. That's important to me.
Gail, thanks for the super sticker. Just my 4 cents says so. It's okay for you to get a high yellow partner, but not for anyone else. Correct?
Well, no, it ain't. I'm not gonna sit up here and say it's okay. First of all, I did not go out and say, "Oh, let me go find me a light skinned man." I don't do that.
Now,
I don't chase no man. Men pursue me.
now you
My
mentioned that.
husband pursued the fuck out of me, and he happened to be light skinned. I
Now
didn't
you
pursue him.
mentioned now, but you did mention that you had several proposals.
I did, and most
Is
of them
he
was
the
light
dark? Real
skinned.
quick, real quick. Is he the darkest proposal? Because by your logic, a man should pick the darkest woman that's willing to sleep with him.
Well, no, he wasn't. He wasn't the.
So you
There
turned
was
down the darker man for a lighter.
no. There was one dark skin. Okay, there was one dark skinned man. God, I really don't want to talk about this because I hope you're not listening. But anyway, there was one dark skinned man that I really was attracted to, but he took his time. He would just often a hot and cold. I'm like this. I like consistency, and I like you. If you gonna follow through and do what you just go ahead and do it. And what my husband did, he always said that he wanted to marry me. He always said that, and he pulled the trigger, and he went on ahead and did it, and that's what I respected. The dark skinned man did not do that.
Okay.
He just did not make the move like how I wanted. And I'm not gonna sit there and tell you to do it. You need to understand and know. You need to know what to do. You need to come and tell me what to do. I need your leadership. I don't need to be up here telling you explaining to you what to do.
I agree. A man should be telling a woman what to do. Okay, I'm a blast through these. Insane One says salute to the game. Appreciate your brother. Let's see. Wizard X says should men who date out be excommunicated of the black community?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I already know your answer. Yeah. It was answered before it was asked. Okay. And salute GC Rashid for a good show today. Thank you. Thank you. All right. And women survive childbirth, men survive the environment. Okay. Very.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Agree. Okay. Thanks a lot, Classy. All right. Let's get to the end of this.
It's annoying. How to put this? Ratchet, and they don't know how to like be reserved. You're like the complete opposite.
You are
So
not the
props to you.
stereotype. You are not the
You are
stereotype.
not the same. That's all.
So yeah.
So in the same breath, he is saying to the black or brown skinned woman here that you are an exception, meaning that
bullshit.
well, that's what they're saying. But I think what they're getting at is that they would get with her. I think that that's what they're saying. Like, though I generally speaking, as a matter of policy and practice, don't date this particular type of woman, your demeanor brings me out of that state. I think that that's what they're getting at.
I understand that, but see, here's what I don't like. I don't like when black men they point out one black woman, darker skinned black woman, and I've seen this come from I see some stuff on your show on it. You got one dark skinned chick. I call her hog maul because that's what the fuck her ass sound like. But they point out some of use a dark skinned woman to be representative of, okay, you're an exception, and that's still an insult to dark skinned women. Okay, and she's sitting up there and she can't see that. I hate it when when dark-skinned women, when a dark-skinned woman gets called an exception and she doesn't stand her ass up and defend other dark-skinned women because she's so worried about the way she's being perceived by this man or whatever. You know, it's so damn hypocritical. And then on the same token, you got these light-skinned women, they sitting up there feeling like they're perfect, feeling like, you know, they are the stand. They're not the fucking. You want to tell you think that I'm gonna sit up here and believe that all light-skinned women are calm, are cool, collective, bitches cook. Man, look, I'm trying my best to contain because I got one bitch I want to just go in on. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that alone. But I'm just gonna say these bitches ain't innocent. Some of them don't even know how to keep a house. Some of them just fucked up, ratchet ass human beings. You know, they just all fucked up. And black men be giving these bitches passes because they're light skinned. Okay, not because. And you always want to go back to this question of morality when you're dealing with a dark skinned woman. But we need to put a fucking microscope on the immoral behavior of some of these light skinned women. We need to shine a light on their ass and talk about what they do. Talk about how some of them don't take care of their kids. Talk about how some of them don't know how to keep a fucking clean house. Don't cook for their fucking man. Drink and smoke and do all kind of ignorant shit. Gain weight. Fat, out of shape bitches. You know what I'm saying? So I just have a problem with him saying she's the exception. She ain't the exception.
Well, she's not any of the things that
She
you
ain't the
described, at
exception.
least from outward appearance. From outward appearance, she's not any of the things that you described, and she also looks like she can get a mean sandwich. You know, so you know,
But she's not the exception, is my point.
well, yeah. I don't know if she's the norm, but I'm gonna say this.
I would argue she is.
I'm gonna say this. He seems to be showing her the greatest amount of interest, even over the four white women that are available.
No, I don't think I don't think that that's what that
Well,
is.
he's talking to her while other women are there. He's
Yeah,
basically
but he's still showing disrespect to a whole group of dark skinned women by singling her out as the good one while all the other dark skinned women were bad. So it's still disrespectful. That's not a compliment what he's doing. I see right through the bullshit.
okay.
He just
All
sat there
right.
and talked about he was. Am I wrong in saying that he was the one that say I don't date black girls? He was
Yeah,
saying,
he was actually in.
okay, so you still insulting black women just because there's one there and she being quiet and she ain't stand. I bet you if her ass stood up and cursed his ass the fuck out and went off like I would do, I bet you he wouldn't say that then.
Well, he
I bet
can't
you his
say
whole
that because
attitude
she
would
would
change.
disprove it. She would disprove it. All right, let me continue.
So we'll give you that compliment too.
All right. So yeah, that's that. Now, Rashida, you mentioned that mall situation when you were you were managing the photography department at Walmart, and you mentioned that the Mexican woman was there, and the guy seemed more interested in her than you, and you overheard him talking bad about you individually, and you drug him. Now, and her.
Verbally.
Now, verbally, yeah,
And
yeah.
I didn't want to. I wasn't trying to get with this guy. That's what not what it was about. It was.
I'm going to come back
It
to
was.
that
Go
because
ahead.
that's very pointed. I'm definitely going to come back to that. But didn't you fulfill? Didn't you prove him right by behaving in that way? By your verbal dragging of him, did you not prove him
No,
right?
because him and the non-black woman were being disrespectful and nasty and rude and demeaning to me, and I'm not going to allow that to happen. And I think that black dark-skinned women, we allow that shit to happen way too much on jobs.
Well, what did they say?
A
What did
black
they say?
man will come in. I could give you another example. I was a recruiter, and I remember working with this white woman and myself, and this black man. He came in there to do something. I forgot what he wanted, but he just automatically assumed that I was the underling of the white woman and went directly to the white woman and started asking her questions and acted like I was. That's fucking rude and disrespectful. If you do that to me, see, back then I was kind of calm and laid back because I'm a natural introvert. But you do that shit to me now, I'm gonna check the fuck out of you, and it's gonna be a problem. See, that's the thing. Dark-skinned women, we have got to stop allowing this form of disrespect and darkism, because self-hating ass niggas feel that they gotta give more deference to white women, light-skinned women. You know what I'm saying? We can't allow that. We gotta nip that shit in the bud and let them know we're not gonna take this shit. You're gonna respect me on the same equal level, or it's gonna be a problem. And it's not ratchet behavior. It is, we are being attacked. These people are starting shit with us. If you walk into a damn room and you don't acknowledge me and you act like I'm not there and you try to put a light-skinned woman above me, you are fucking attacking me and my humanity, and I'm not allowing that shit.
Now, so let me ask this from the man's point of view. So say he went to you first. Do you think that she would have, verbally attacked him?
I wouldn't give a damn. I don't. Let me
But-
be honest.
but-
Let me be honest. Let me answer that question.
No,
White women and light-skinned women have been in a privileged position
Here's why.
for so long. I'm
Here's why.
not worried about how they feel. What they should be doing is standing up for dark-skinned women. Light-skinned and white women, they have been protected and taken care of and fucking catered to for so long. I could care less. As long as he ain't walking in and beating our ass and doing something wrong, that's different. But I don't care. I don't give a damn. What I care about is how you treating me in this hierarchy of colorism and darkism that this society has created.
Okay, I get that, but you do realize that you're putting the man in an impossible situation.
No, I'm not. If the man would come in,
no matter what,
that ain't true. If the man would bring his ass up in there, if that dude would have came in, both of these black guys, if they would have came in there and treated me with an equal amount of respect as they was giving to that light skin, I wouldn't have had nothing to say.
No, but
I'm just not the type of person that you can disrespect like that. I'm not taking that shit.
No, it's not. Listen, it's two people there. One of them's light skinned, the other one is dark skinned. If he speaks to the light skinned one first, the dark skinned one to get upset.
No.
If he speaks to the dark, right quick. If he speaks to the dark skinned one first, the light skinned one would get upset.
That's not what it's about. No, that's not true.
Lose for him. Yes, it's a lose for him.
That's not. No, I'm serious. That's not it. That's not it. It's all
from
about.
From a guy's point of view, it is. Like, no matter. So it's it. And guys, fellas, back me up on this. Those of you who ever hit on a female in the club, you come across two equally beautiful women. Whoever you talk to first, you got to stick with it. Even if the other one was into you and you didn't know, then you just made the wrong choice. Either way, you risk losing. You could only talk to one.
That's not what I'm saying, though. He's talking about I got an imaginary husband. Bitch, I ain't got no imaginary husband.
Yeah.
I ain't got no motherfucking imaginary. He's real, bitch.
Husband. Yeah.
He's fucking real, and he probably look better than your bitch ass. But moving right along. A man that has respect and decency and decorum about him, he would know how to come in and be cordial and make both women feel comfortable. I've seen some men do this. My father was like that. My father had so much class where when he came around black women, he didn't create a situation where there was animosity with light skin or dark skin. He knew how to treat all the women in a way that they all felt respected and cared about. There are some men out there that know how to do that. I've seen it. Shout out to some of my brothers, which they know how to do it too. Okay, so that's not an excuse. Some of these men, some of these black men, that it's intentional. They're doing this shit on purpose to try to make the darker skin, the black woman, feel inferior. And what I'm saying is, the black women, we got to stand up and we got to say, I'm not going to tolerate this shit. We got to correct some of y'all and show y'all how you gonna treat us.
The correction is the stereotype. Like, black women have a stereotype of a group of women that go around correcting niggas. Like, they do. Like, yes, and that's not
what I'm saying. I'm not saying
a good thing.
But that ain't what I'm saying, though.
Corrections.
That ain't what I'm saying.
People see y'all, they see the Department of Corrections.
That ain't what I'm saying. I'm not the type of woman that wants to be the leader in a household with a man. I want y'all to lead. I actually like being told what to do by my husband. That he called me say, let's do this. I say, okay,
Yeah,
okay, let's
as
go.
you should, as you should.
But
However,
but here's the
that's
thing.
your indoor persona. That's your in-house persona. You know, your bedroom, your kitchen.
I
Your
don't want to go around.
real quick.
It's
Your-
not fun.
that is
Listen,
different than your
it
public
is not
persona.
fun for me to have to go off and correct
Then don't.
black men that
Then
try to
don't.
mistreat me. It's not fun, but
Then
it's
don't.
about respect. If I
One
don't
thing is
teach
remain
you how to
ladylike
treat
at
me,
all times.
lady like my ass, lady like my ass.
Yeah, have a ladylike
Lady like-
attitude.
Lady like my ass. So me standing up for myself while you licking and kissing a light-skinned woman ass because you trying to make her above me. And when I check you, put you in your motherfucking place and put the dumb bitch in her place, that's not ladylike. But let a light-skinned woman do that. Let that retarded looking bitch Cardi B do that. And any one of the myriad of retarded, ugly ass, bag under eyes, drooping face, light-skinned bitches on TV do that. And y'all motherfuckers praise their ass. But when a dark-skinned woman do it, we masculine with. Fuck that. None of that's gonna stop me. None of that's gonna stop me.
Okay, Rashida, I don't praise, I don't lick, I don't kiss, I bite. And I bite them dark, I bite them light, I bite them white, I bite them yellow. I bite booty. I don't do all the other stuff that you're talking about. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that is how I get down, and it's universal.
Mm-hmm.
However, groups of women have ethnic stereotypes. Some of them good, some of them not so good. And I think what Fresh and Fit and were saying was that a lot of black women lose out because they're ethnic stereotype. And that is the overreaction that you were describing. I get it that, that you're upset because they have a preference, but it's a perpetual cycle because you overreact because they have a preference. But
no, I don't. I'm not overreacting because they got a preference.
Okay, well, you react. You react because they have a preference, and
I
they
react due to disrespect.
They disrespect because of your reactions, and your reactions is
if this guy would have came on there and just said he liked light-skinned women and white women and left dark-skinned women out of it, I wouldn't have nothing to say. But it's like they go out of their way to let these light-skinned women know I don't like these dark-skinned women. You going out of your way to fucking insult me and I'm not supposed to stand up for myself? No, that dude need to get drugged. He do. Leave me out the shit. You don't like me as a black woman, bitch. Why you talking about me? Why is my name as a black woman in your mouth? Because you do like me. That's really what, and that's another thing. That's the underlying issue too. You do like black women. You do. I'm on your mind 24/7. Even these motherfuckers that say you ratchet, you this, you that. Bitch, you probably want to fuck me. You probably want to fuck the shit. That'll fucking never happen. But that's probably what you want. In fact, it ain't probably, it is. How many men done hit me up and told me this? They done watch me cuss, be so-called ratchet, whatever. But you all up in my inbox trying to fuck me. I'm gonna fly you out here. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I know, bitch, you want to fuck. That's why I say, bitch, I take your fucking man.
Okay.
I will. Being just like this. I ain't got to do nothing extra. My big fucking glasses, big nose, nappy hair, plain Rashida Strober. Bitch, I'll take your man just like that.
Now, I will say, and everybody knows this, I do like the dark rim glasses. Everybody know that about GameChanger.
All this pleasant shit. Y'all bitches, y'all got, let me tell y'all something. All this shit about, pleasant this and pleasant that shit got y'all fooled. I'm trying to tell you. That's all bullshit. That's all bullshit in the real world.
So what are you saying? You're saying that light skinned women can't be pleasant? That only dark.
What are you talking about?
No, you say the pleasant shit is bullshit. Well,
I'm saying people saying they talk shit. Say you're not. They imply that dark skinned women aren't pleasant. Therefore, that's why we ain't got them. I'm saying that's all bullshit. I'm saying that don't make sense in my reality. If that was the case, I wouldn't be married. It don't make no sense. Make it make sense.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I granted you are married,
and women are pleasant, by the way.
And guys hit you in the inbox. You have what I like to call nice titties. So I think that no matter what the personality, guys are going to hit you in the inbox. You know,
Oh, it's so. The world is so much bigger than big titties. Did you know that it takes a lot more than big titties to
I
sustain
agree.
a relationship? That's just
I agree. I'm just trying to give some understanding of why the guys would insult you, but yet be in your inbox. I'm just trying to bring some clarity to that. Or maybe they just like, women that they claim online that they don't like. I don't know. I'm not in your inbox, but yeah, that's the case. Who knows? All right, could y'all hit that like button, please? I greatly appreciate it. Go ahead and hit that like button. I should be at 200 given the amount of people watching, and I am not. So thanks a lot. And if you haven't joined already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Greatly appreciate it. All right. So my question to you, because you mentioned that the guy in the store with the Mexican girl, that you wasn't into him anyway. It seems as if though you weren't into him, you wanted him to be into you.
no.
Well, I mean, because you're reacting to his disinterest in you and your kind. However, you're not interested in him. Like, by that logic, should he not drag you for not being attracted to him?
It wasn't about a sexual interest. It was more about we all are managers training here, and you are being disrespectful to me because I'm a black woman, and you want to get some cool points with the white people. So sometimes black people on jobs, they feel like they got to be nasty to another black person in order to gain cool points with the white people. And I just don't feel we should be operating that way. I don't operate like that. I'm nice to everybody. I don't even care what color you is unless I see you trying to fuck me. Then it turns into a problem for your ass. So that's the thing. It wasn't about me wanting him to be attracted to me. It was about the fact of I noticed and I could just tell by his demeanor that he was disrespectful towards me, and he was giving more respect to this non-black woman, and it was definitely about gaining cool points.
I think he wanted to sleep with that non-black woman. From
Well,
the
I
way,
don't know that. I can't
no,
say
no, no.
that.
I'm
I
just,
mean, because
I'm speculating.
I mean, black men, y'all think a woman is cute because she light skinned, but this woman
I
was
don't think
not cute at all. She was ugly. She was not cute. She was not dressed nice.
that. Mhm.
She was rather fucked up looking. She was. So
I don't think
I
that.
on the other hand was very well put together. I was, and with my natural hair, my dark skin, so she definitely did not look better than me, but to him, because she's light skinned, anything light skinned, I don't give a fuck how busted they look. Y'all seem to think that they automatically look good because they got light skin.
Now I know you're in the South, and Southern brothers are different. I talk about that all the time. But do you really think we think that way?
I do. I know.
Have you been out of the South?
Of course,
Have you
I
been to
lived in
Canada?
LA before. I lived in Los Angeles for about 3
And
years.
you see the same thing there?
um well, what I see, Los Angeles is a little different because
It's a lot different in
I
that
think
regard.
I think black people had a little bit more unity because of the race stuff going on out there with between the blacks and the Hispanics. So I kind of saw a little bit more unity um, than I would see in in the South. But
Okay. I mean, I'm just, I don't, and we don't have that problem where I come from as far as blacks and
well, I'm
Hispanics.
glad. I'm glad you don't. I'm glad not every black person goes through that. But
But
I mean,
as far, I don't think it's a matter of tension between black and Latins that just make people not really think about it that way. Beauty is beauty regardless of color, in my opinion. And brothers from the town would agree that that's really not a major concern. Like height, weight, proportion, symmetrical features, nice endowments, titties, booty, things like that, are much more important than skin color.
well, if that's the case, then this guy wouldn't have been given so much deference to this light skinned woman because she was a hot mess. She was overweight. She had bad skin. Um, she was, her hygiene wasn't very good. But again, she was light skinned, so he felt that she deserved more respect than me.
Okay, fair enough. Wow. I know that that thinking exists. I met Southern brothers. I'm not oblivious to it. I know that that thinking exists. And fellas, if you think that way, if a woman is not attractive but her only saving grace is that she's light skinned, then you should really reevaluate your priorities. You know, like to me, like a fit woman is much more higher priority than her skin color. But yeah, I know that that goes on in the South, and I know that that's where you come from. So I'm not knocking you for having these ideals. I do feel that sometimes that they're over exaggerated. I do feel that oftentimes you are challenging a man's right to have a preference in doing so. Because at the end of the day, these guys are just stating their preference. And you're saying that their preference should be for darker skinned women. And if it is not, they should get dragged, including physically. So that I can't get behind. I think that a man has a right to have preference. Now, yeah, granted, I question some of these guys' preferences, but I'm not from the South.
Well, I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. The preference in America is constructed and it's dysfunctional. So when we keep talking about this whole thing about preference, yes, everybody have a right to have their own preference, but we need to acknowledge that it is constructed and created by American beauty standards, which is rooted and grounded in racism. And that's the problem that I'm having. That's where darkism comes in. That's where colorism comes in.
Okay, I don't disagree with the truth in that. Knowing that that exists, wouldn't it be, prudent of every woman, every dark skinned woman, to present herself in the best possible light at all times, publicly and privately, in order to counter that narrative? Meaning,
Why can't that the same be said about light skinned women? See, that's the darkism as well. Why is the onus always put on the darker skinned woman to change
because it's
and
their
be a certain
reputation.
way and to improve? Again, y'all are upholding light skinned women as if they are perfect and they can
I'm
do no
not.
wrong.
I
You
am not.
are.
No, this is not saying that light skinned women are perfect. What I'm saying is that dark skinned women have a bad reputation. Okay, let's put it out there.
How
Men,
did dark skinned women get a bad
no, no, I'll
dark
tell you
skinned
though.
women got a bad reputation because
I'm
we're
saying,
dark skinned. That's the
listen,
darkism.
listen, I'm saying it
But
now.
these again, see now
Listen to me,
I'm
Rashida.
I'm
You gotta
trying my
listen to me.
best to not get upset, but I'm an
But
emotional
no,
person. Fuck
yeah, I
that.
know, but
What
Rashida,
you what you what
God
you
damn it,
giving these light skinned women a pass? You
that's not
giving
giving them a pass.
these ghetto hood, ugly, bad attitude, bad skin, bad body bitches, immoral bitches, weed smoking, drinking bitches, fucked up. You giving them a pass,
I do
acting
not
like they're
give a
all
woman
so
a pass.
good. They're not.
Hold on. I do not give women
It's
passes based on skin
bullshit.
color. No, a ratchet bitch is a ratchet bitch. I do not give a pass based on skin color. And
You are giving a pat
this
because you're
isn't
sitting up here
that.
saying
This
dark
isn't
skin.
that.
This
You're
is
not
what dark
listening.
skin women got to do.
You're not
What the
listening.
fuck do these light skin women
This
got to
is
do?
listen time.
They're not
Listen.
perfect.
No, I'm not saying they are. Listen to me. Listen to me. I'm saying that the reputation and image exists. I'm gonna give an example. The first negative image of dark skinned black woman that I seen was Hattie McDaniels and Gone with the Wind, and just that whole mammy trope. They even had it on an old timey cartoon called Tom and Jerry. That overweight, belligerent, loud, obnoxious, dark skinned black woman trope has existed for over 100 years now, since the 1920s. So it's now the 2020s, and yeah, so it has existed for a long time. Now, what I'm saying is, it seems like the best counter, and you are working on this. The best counter to that narrative, because you can't change the past and you can't really change Hollywood like that. The best counter to that would be to be the exact opposite, which is the absolute opposite of Mammy, is a slim chick who has a nice disposition. That would be the absolute opposite. See, I like to consider myself to be the opposite of certain negative black stereotypes. I do. and I work hard to counter that stereotype especially as it pertains to me. If I were to walk around as past it, talking in incomplete sentences and working completely off of outside stimuli, then I would be perpetuating the existing stereotype. So I'm saying, like, don't get me wrong. You got the body. Your body is nothing like Mammy. You don't have that Mammy body that bad built women have. You have your natural hair, and you don't have a bonnet or whatever that syrup bitch has on her head. You don't have one of those. So now the last step is to next help work on the emotionality, at least in public, when you can. I'm not saying be a pushover, but I'm saying when you can, and then teach others. If you see a chick that look like Mammy from Miami, then you need to check her. You need to say. So I was watching the movie Crash. You need to say, like, look, you embarrassing me, and you embarrassing yourself. You need to tell those women that they're embarrassing you. They're making it bad for you. The reputation already exists to no control of your own. But what you do have a control over is if you choose to perpetuate it. And that has nothing to do with likes. Hit the like button. Hit the button. What's wrong with y'all? Hit the button if you haven't already hit it. God. But you see where I'm going with this, Rashida, right?
I disagree with you because here's the thing. You are not assigning the same set of rules to light-skinned women. That's the problem.
They don't have the reputation. Hattie McDaniels was not.
That's the
Was
problem.
not
That's the
light-skinned.
darkism. They get to light-skinned women get to profits off of dark-skinned women's pain, and y'all give them a pass. We go to jail. We get, we get branded all these negative stereotypes. While people like Cardi B, she's the biggest example of this, can
I don't know who that.
behave a certain way and make a lot of money off of it, and you're not telling Cardi B to change her behavior. That woman is an ignorant fool. She is just she don't no talent, just ignorant bitch. But she's been making all this money off of it. While dark skinned women, we act that way, man. We can't win for losing. So y'all need to start telling these light skinned women what they need to do and stop overlooking their bad shit. Like I said, when we open this up, the dude talked about Shaniqua as if only dark skinned women. No, bitch, I know a Shaniqua. I know light skinned Shaniquas, and they're ratchet. They're hood. They're loud. They're belligerent. But there's no focus on them. And that is the darkism. That's the problem.
Okay. Once again, the reputation is there. Unfortunately, the Mammy trope, was a dark skinned woman. So yeah, it's not fair. Okay, so here's what you want. You want it to be fair. It's not going to be fair.
I'm always looking for fairness. That's the whole thing.
But it's not. I know
I thrive off of fairness.
No, we had that talk before. Listen, it's not going to be fair. Look, I tell the story all the time. I was a math tutor, right? Out of college, I was a math tutor. And I was independent, so I had to advertise on cork boards and stuff like that for my works. Now, because black men don't really have the reputation of, being mathematically competent, it is harder for me. In fact, I've seen some signs and some posters up saying, Asian math tutor. They would literally say that on their advertisement. Now, they have that advantage because they have that ethnic reputation, and the stereotypes in that regard work in their favor. It's not fair, but all I can do to counter that is to be the best math tutor that exists. That is it. That's all I can. Like I can't, and by doing that, I will counter the stereotype one by one. Like that's how you counter a stereotype. For example, everybody growing up in the 80s, I think you're my age, everybody thought that, and I thought it too, that Asian people, particularly Chinese and Japanese people, could all kung fu fight. They all were just ninja, Mr. Miyagi type people that can walk on tree branches and slice you with a ninja sword. We thought that, and the only thing we can do to counter that reputation is to, in actual martial arts events, best them. That's what you do. You prove the stereotype wrong, and belligerence to the stereotype only reinforces it. That's what I'm getting at, Rashida.
I hear you. I understand what you're saying. But again, what I'm going to say is that the problem is the stereotype has been forced onto dark-skinned women. Negative stereotype has been forced onto dark-skinned women for being dark-skinned.
I agree, and
It's
that's not.
it's not necessarily about, because I think that behavior-wise, in terms of wretchedness, I think that there's I think these light-skinned women, they getting away with it. They ratchet as fuck. But
Yeah,
it's
I
all
agree.
getting dumped on us, and we're the ones being told we need to counter this, we need to change, when that's not our real reality. It is for example, in my everyday life, it is not my reality. I don't go out into the world yelling and screaming and acting ratchet. I've never done that.
Yes, you
No,
do.
I don't go out into the world yelling and screaming and acting ratchet.
Yes,
No, I
you
don't.
do.
No, I
I've
don't.
seen you. Yes, you
No, I
do.
don't.
Yes,
No, I
you.
don't.
Rashida.
Not
Rashida.
not in my. Listen. You
Stop,
gotta
stop,
do.
stop,
You gotta
stop
do
that.
something to me
No,
to
they
push
did
me.
nothing. They did nothing.
Who did? Who are you talking about? Who is they?
Come on, you. Listen, I seen you at a Black Lives Matter rally telling white people to go home. You was
I'll do it
yelling.
again. They shouldn't have been there. They trying
You
to
was all
wait
they
a
did
minute.
was claim and support
Hold
it,
up. Hold on.
and
Hold
you
on.
was
Hold on. Hold on. Hold
yelling.
on.
No, you
No, they were there for the wrong reasons. They were
no,
trying to. They
whatever,
were trying
whatever
to
you think.
lead and
You was
tell the
being
black people
belligerent.
what to do, and they can't do that. They
You
cannot
was
run.
being
They
belligerent.
cannot run the movement, and I'll tell any white person that.
You was
Absolutely
yelling at
not.
random white people on the street. I'm saying
I
it's
was
not a
not
good
yelling.
look.
No. This was.
Yes, you
No, I know
was.
what you're talking about. I know the event that you're talking about. That was a public. That was a public event, and I was under the impression that the Black Panther Party for Justice was leading it up. And when I got there, I was looking for them, and we did not see them. And I see all these damn white people walking their ass around here trying to run shit. And they can come, but you cannot be coming out here telling the black people what the fuck to do. That's the problem. See, this is what I'm saying.
They wasn't telling you what to
Yes,
do.
they were. They was running the
Stop
fucking
yelling
show.
at me.
They was running the goddamn show. And then you had these niggas out there that was co-signing it and allowing the shit.
Oh crap!
This
You
is
see,
we can't do that.
Rashida,
But
it's
I
not.
get branded ratchet for telling these white people, hey, go home.
What
You
I'm
damn
saying.
right. Take your ass home. Quit trying to run black people affairs.
What?
That's
See,
the problem.
and that's what I'm saying, Rashida. You're not getting branded. You already have that brand. You
No,
already have that
it's
brand just for
darkism.
being a dark
It's
skinned woman.
darkism. It's
It is
darkism.
whatever you want to call it. You
It
already
is.
have that brand. You already have that brand by being a dark skinned woman in the world. And instead of for being different, you walk into the stereotype by yelling at random white people for trying to help in the best way they know how.
Do you know how ridiculous you sounding right now?
I'm
It's actually
pretty
laughable.
I'm pretty sure I sound I'm
Okay,
pretty
let me ask you a question. When them white bitches was flaming black women, innocent black enslaved dark skinned women during slavery, what the fuck you got to say about them hoes? Because they was flaming the fuck out of dark skinned black women.
What is
Them
flame?
white women during slavery. The white women, the innocent, sweet, kind white women was treating dark-skinned black women like animals. Even though we was taking care of their kids, even though we was taking care of their household, them low-down, dirty bitches was treating us like shit. Why y'all niggas ain't flaming them motherfuckers?
Because you're
Explain
dead.
that shit to me.
Because you're dead.
That's bullshit. Them
That's
bitches
not
ain't.
they are dead.
Them bitches ain't innocent. They stood by and watched us get raped.
What the hell?
Their
Okay.
fucking husbands was fucking raping black women left and right. Fuck them. I'll tell them any day of the fucking week, bitch, get the fuck on.
All right.
I tell them, bitch, get the fuck on. You motherfucking right. Y'all crazy as hell.
Rashida, if you
all the wrongdoing that done happened to dark. Have you read history? Do you understand what these white women what these white women was doing, having black women beat, sending these them niggas to do their fucking dirty work, knowing that black women was getting raped. Bitches jealous, mad. They mad with their fucking husbands, but can't see the humanity in a black woman who your fucking husband, pedophile bitches around here raping 12, 13. These women send back. Why? Them bitches is monsters. Get the fuck out of here. They fucking monsters.
I want to say this.
Monsters. Straight up. You ain't gonna put that on dark-skinned black women. The lighter women are fucking monsters. We're gonna turn this shit around today. Them bitches is the true fucking monsters. I ain't never co-signed nobody being enslaved. And I ain't never co-signed another woman being raped. I ain't never co-signed a 12, 13-year-old girl, my white husband raping her. But that's what them white bitches was doing. That's what them trashy ass, low down, dirty stank bitches was doing. What else? What the fuck else? What the fuck else? You can't disprove it. You cannot refute that. I'm white. You cannot refute that shit. So why y'all motherfuckers coming for dark-skinned women? Let me tell you something. Non-dark women are among the most violent bitches on the fucking planet. Prove me wrong. I want somebody to prove. You can't. You can't. You ain't gonna win that argument. God damn it.
All right, let's do this. You have my permission to go off on any 180-year-old woman that you see.
I ain't going off on no 180-year-old woman.
Then why not? They're the ones who did it.
I ain't doing that.
It's 180-year-old women that
ain't what I'm saying.
For whatever reason, you know.
I'm just letting you know. I'm letting you know because y'all trying to come for dark-skinned women. I'm letting you know based on history. This is facts, not my emotions. I'm letting you know that non-dark women are among the most violent bitches in the fucking world. That's a fact. Indisputable, irrefutable. And if you deny that, then you condone violence. You right on their fucking team. Y'all ain't gonna come for dark-skinned women like that.
You're the one who's talking about dragging people. And I'm not talking about, antebellum dragging, connected to the mule or some crap like that. I'm talking about right now. Right now, you're talking about dragging people right now.
I say if they come in my face disrespecting me, I will try to talk to you at first. I will try to talk to you at first, like a human being. But if you come in my space and you cannot be respectful, then it might happen. But my point is, y'all, you coming for dark-skinned women as if we're violent and crazy and deranged. But you missing the point though.
I'm giving
white women stood back. White women stood back and watched black women get fucked up and raped and beat up. That's violent. Them hoes is violent. Them bitches is violent. Fuck that shit.
I get it. And if you're
violent, not me.
An 80-year-old woman, you'd have this conversation with her.
Listen. I am not a part of the race of the most violent people on earth. That ain't me.
Let me read the super chat. Let me read the super chat. All right. It says, this darky is the reason we want light ones. Okay, fuck you.
Baiting. Get your light ones.
He's baiting. He's baiting. Don't. Okay. So everybody else chased a high yellow, but in your case, a high yellow chased you. Correct? Girl, bye. Okay, so apparently
cold black, fuck you. You one of the people that deny history too. You won't talk about the white ones and what they did. Fuck you.
Well, because it's also I don't talk about anybody on what they did in history. I don't care.
I do. Because it's laying the groundwork. It's laying the groundwork for y'all to stereotype dark-skinned women, but you don't want to fucking come and address these non-black bitches.
No, I don't, because it's immutable. No,
it ain't.
It is. That's what immutable means.
Them bitches is benefiting now. They benefiting. Off of the violence, the historic violence of the dark-skinned black woman. Them hoes is benefiting. Fuck
You're
that.
benefiting.
I ain't benefiting off of nothing.
You benefit off of big titties. Like benefit off of being a woman.
I think my husband benefits off of that shit.
Exactly, and you benefit from by having a husband.
Oh, really?
You benefit from being one of the three, fit, feminine, and friendly. At least you got one of them. You benefit. So don't act like you're not benefiting. And more women can benefit by being fit, feminine, and friendly and getting me a sandwich. Like they can. There's benefit in that. And every time a black woman is not fit, feminine, friendly, slavery wins. Now, Will Brown says getting cursed out is the norm. Okay, I think he's talking about the ethnic reputation. All right, hold on. I know I'm behind on the super chats, but it
I
got
gotta
he.
get off here. I done gave you almost two
I
hours.
appreciate any minute you give me. I appreciate it. You know I love our conversations, and you know if you got to go, I understand. But
Yes, I do.
you know,
Because I'm done arguing. I'm finished arguing for today.
we're on the same side. I don't. You know we weren't arguing to begin with. We're on the same side. Let's see. Where I know I've seen like a few of them, but hold on, it's gonna be down. But go ahead and say I guess your closing thoughts on it. But all I'm saying is that you have control of your ethnic reputation somewhat. The media is going to be the media. However, you can still change the perception of dark skinned black women in a positive way. And if the other women want to be ratchet, let them screw their own ethnic reputation up. That's how you win.
Well, I'm just gonna agree to disagree, and thank you for having me on.
Okay, thank you for coming up.
Y'all have a wonderful evening. Real quick, my website is darkskinactivist.com. Once again, darkskinactivist. I can't stand your chat. I want to just go at it with you motherfuckers, but I gotta go. I gotta go. I want to cuss. I want to cuss y'all out. I'm not
You
gonna
want to
lie.
drag them?
I want to drag all you bitches in here, but because y'all talking so much shit to me. But y'all got a right to talk shit. Y'all just thank you for listening.
Hey, if
Thank you
y'all
for
have
having me.
something y'all want to express, go to her channel. Melody has put it in the chat room. Melody, if you could put that again,
Shout
go.
out to Melody, sending you a lot of love. I know these people think they swear it down. I hate light skinned people, but I
You
don't.
just said that they did. You just said slavery and they hate them, and it's these light skinned bitches too. Even though they're the byproduct of the sexual misconduct
Listen,
that you're
I'm
talking
not
about.
gonna censor myself to make people feel good. I'm not doing that no more. I might drop dead
You should.
tomorrow. I need to say shit my way, and the people that rocking with it and understand it, they're gonna rock with it and understand it. And the people that don't, then you motherfuckers gotta catch up. That's on you. But thank you for having me though.
All right, and thank you for coming up.
All right, bye bye.
Goodbye. All right, so the chat room is moving fast. I got to find those super chats. So while I do that, I'll open up the panel. So I want to make sure I read everybody. All right, and there is the link. All right. Wow, y'all have a lot to say, and it's none too nice. But don't say I didn't try. Don't say I didn't try. I mean, let me know if you understand. All I'm saying is that you have some control over your own ethnic reputation. And yes, though these stereotypes exist, and it exists to no fault of your own, that you have to work to counter it. People were born with their ethnic stereotype. Doesn't mean that you can't change it for future generations. And that is behaving in a way that counters it. Carlton, what's on your mind?
Man, that was very difficult, man, to listen to that pure emotionalism. The way she shut out all logic, it hurts. It hurts.
So she began by saying that she was treated a certain way at a very young age, which was inferior to the way her light-skinned cousin was treated by her own family. So I don't expect anything. That's an emotional situation. So I understand why it's an emotional response. I do. But I would like it. I would have preferred it if, for a moment, is that I would prefer it if for a moment,
Yes.
she would kind of step out and look at it, from a rational standpoint and see that at least in behavior, she's doing herself more harm than good.
Yeah, and that's really my point, is that she has to understand that, think about the outcome that you seek. And does this work? The thing is that when women try to bludgeon men with their ideology, what they fail to understand is that they get nowhere. And everybody knows where I'm from. Everybody knows who was the baddest chick when we was young. It was a dark skinned girl who was real thin, very friendly, and she
Tatiana
beat
Ali.
she beat out a lot of the light skinned chicks, man. The thing is, I don't think that with men it's skin tone as much as it is with women. You know what I'm saying? I think to women it's a bigger issue, and I think they project stuff so much, and so they think that if this would work for them, it's going to work for us. It does not work for us. You know what I'm saying? All you're doing is making me want to run away from you. You're confirming all this bad stuff that people say about you, and you make me not want to be anywhere in your presence. I mean, this whole thing, after so long, I just can't continue to feel, sorry for you. I just want to get away from it.
Yeah. So
It's the time has come for this. It's over with. We have to look beyond this skin color thing, and it just seems like anytime you try to check a sister on this issue, she got to go bring in it's got to go back to racism and white supremacy, and it's almost like, man, that stuff is like how Nordic people and them Valhalla, excuse my language, but it's like it never fails, man. Here it comes. It's coming every time. It's Thor's hammer, and it's sad, man. But we got to move on, man. It's just like, I have a saying, it's not popular. It rubs people the wrong way, but it applies even here. It's our biggest problem is not the system of white supremacy. It's the practice of black inferiority.
Well put. Okay.
Have a problem with that practice. Have a problem with that practice.
Just my 4 cents says, or no, actually, Jacques says, light-skinned men worship dark-skinned women. What's the problem? Yeah, I guess. I mean, she's married to a light-skinned man, so I don't know if the worship part is true, but there's definitely truth in it. So yeah. Sweet Melody Speaks. What's on your mind?
Hi, GC. Hi, panel. I just want to say that Rashida is extra cool. I actually know Rashida in person. She doesn't treat me any way because I'm lighter skin or anything like that. She has her way. She has her reasons why she feels how she feels. She was the black sheep of the family. She said her light-skinned family treated her really badly. It was a whole bunch of things. She lives in the South, so that's something that goes on a lot in the South. I'm from Jersey. I don't experience anything like that. I mean, I have experienced the other way around where darker skinned women cut my hair and did things to me like that. But I mean, I just wanted to say she was cool. She had her reasons, for feeling like that. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. I appreciate it. So
don't put that on the South. Don't put that on, because I'm here too. And I've always been here. I've always been here, and I'm gonna say it one more time. It's something that exists between women. It's not men.
Okay.
It's not. But can I say this? It's not just the men. It's a lot of times it's the dark skinned women treating other dark skinned women bad in the South. That's what I've seen. From what I've seen, it's everybody who treat dark skinned people bad in the South. It's the women, the men, everybody. And I think it's because they still have that slave mentality down there for whatever reason. I don't know what part of the South you're from, but the stories I heard, they were horror stories.
Yeah, there is something weird going on, and this is from just people who visit and went to school with and stuff. There is something weird going on with their relationship with skin. Their over infatuation with skin tone in the South. There's definitely something there. I can't explain it. AM1 can back me up. We not like that. It's just weird as hell. But I guess every place had their own thing. All right, so let me skip AM1 for a second, just to deformed, pretty something or other. Say something, so I know you're not a troll.
Thanks, GameChanger. Thanks for letting me up here.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
No
Much
worries.
respect.
Yeah. Okay, I appreciate you. We're gonna get to you, but next we're gonna do AM1. All right, so Wizard X, say something so I know you cool. Wizard X. Wizard X. All right, type in the chat when you're ready. All right, and all right, say something. You gotta say something because you got a weird name. LJ.
JC, why don't you put a
Hello?
banner up before you? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Hello. LJ, you
All
there?
right, I just wondering like how did it get to dark skinned women and light skinned women when it was supposed to be black women in general?
All right, we'll get into the division between hues. Let me cover the other guys. I just want to make sure that you're a real person before I went into it. All right, so AM1, Town Biz, what's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, man. First of all, would commend you on keeping your cool with that because wow, that's amazing. I mean, obviously, we've seen her in the space in chats. I've seen direct chats between you and her years ago, and it's just amazing. You pick it apart, you break it down very nicely. I mean, just dealing with like the pathology of what she brings. And to Melody's point, like I was trying to in my mind, is this just a hustle? Is this really her feeling that hurt or a combination of both? But if she in person can treat Melody in a cool way, then obviously it's more of a hustle, which is even more nefarious because then in my estimation, she's just capitalizing on pulling at the heartstrings of black women, similar to like a Cynthia G or somebody like that, monetizing other women's pain relative to some kind of feature that is genetic and that they can't alter. So I mean that's super like nasty, nasty, nasty. That's like if I built up some kind of platform for trauma bonding with light skinned men and oh whoa it's me whatever like that. That's the last thing we need is to be taking advantage of women's issues like that. Ultimately policing people's preferences. I totally get the social conditioning element that she's trying to describe, but your synopsis on how to counter that just nailed in the coffin her whole argument, which obviously pivots it back on her to the idea of either you feel this way and you speak on it relative to your own personal trauma and you project that on the whole world, which is obviously a generalization and is not logical, is not valid, or you are truly taking advantage of other women's emotions to try to build some kind of platform, sell products, monetize it in whatever way. And that is the last thing we need. That is all bad. Women need to come for her because what happens about, dark-skinned women who uplift a Cardi B and give her a pass? Does she address that? Does she address all of the things that aid in the diminished branding of black women? You see what I mean? Does she go there? Or is it just everybody needs to conform to her feelings about it? You know what I mean? It's just not realistic. It's childish. It's relegating women to basically being childish like children. Should be totally unacceptable to other black women, to other dark-skinned women. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, appreciate you. All right, Deformed Pretty Boy, are you light skinned? Hello, Deformed Pretty Boy, you there? All right, while he get together, let me read some super chats. All right, so just my 4 cents says Rashida need therapy for her years of trauma. Maybe. And I know you're trying to say that as an insult, but perhaps, I mean, if somebody experiences a traumatic thing like being mistreated as a child, then they do, and it's nothing that the person receiving it should feel ashamed of. So first of all, don't try to make fun of somebody for doing that, because yeah. But yeah, if you need that help, and I'm not saying she does, but if you do, then get it by all means. All right.
Sorry, game changer. Like my mic was messing up. I feel that there's a lot of trauma there overall because it seems like that she constantly just attacked. It was just like, oh, light skinned women get these passes, but like, once again, it comes back to like, geographically where you're from and where you're at. Personally, I live in California. I live in San Francisco, and as far as that is like completely untrue. It's like it's basically if you're beautiful, you're beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And we do live in a I want to say a female worshiping type of society where beautiful women, whether they're dark, brown, light skin, they get passes. You know what I'm saying? I've seen the darkest of darkest women get passes. You know what I'm saying, and get put on pedestals. So I don't know. Is it a Southern thing?
That's what I'm
Uh,
saying.
I'm not too sure about that. Because I know in California, it's basically it's it's based on symmetrics and your facial features and are you fit, are you feminine, you know those women tend to get passes regardless of their skin hue, and that's just facts. Well, where I'm at, I can't speak on everywhere because where you live at, where you're from, where you're raised at, how you're raised a lot of times, kind of sets your perception on what you think is a reality, but the reality is the things that you actually don't see. And just because what you're seeing is your reality doesn't mean it's real all across the board. So I think it's a lot of trauma and hurt there with her.
Can I say
Yeah.
something?
Well, right quick, Melody. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. You, AM1, and I are from the same area. We're all from the Bay Area of California, and we don't see it, but I'm not going to discount that it exists there. I've talked to enough brothers from Maryland, from Florida, from Georgia, from to a lesser extent, DC, and I say to a lesser extent because that's the northern most part of the South, I guess. But there is a there on both sides. I think it's more on the woman's side than it is on the men's side. But just from knowing them, I can say that there's a there that we just didn't experience. You're right. With us, it's we know we know an attractive chick, and it has nothing to do. It has very little to do with her color.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
And,
like Chili was the hottest member of TLC.
mhm.
Everybody wanted Ashley Banks. If you are in your early 40s, and we'll take a Rudy Huxtable and a Lisa Turtle. Like nobody, yeah, it wasn't a thing. They had something different going on in the South. So there is a dare there. Go ahead, Melody.
That's what I'm saying. And even Rashida Strober in person, she's tall. She looked like a model. She has a really nice body. She's beautiful. She has natural dreads. That's her hair. Nice skin. And I'm not just saying this. I'm serious. When I saw her, I thought she was beautiful. And I'm like, well, why do you say people say you're ugly?
I actually think she's
You're
attractive personally.
you're
I find her.
gorgeous. No, like you haven't seen her in person. No lie. And I'm just like, you're gorgeous. Like what? Like why do you feel this way? I don't. And it might be. See, I don't want to say the wrong stuff. Like it could be a mental thing. It could be you thinking that. Because I don't think anyone would call her ugly.
Melody.
Well, she said in the thing that it's about her next generation and it's about other dark skinned women. So it does seem like she's picking on. Like I say, don't go down ugly woman path if you're not an ugly woman. You
She's
got
not.
to.
She's not even
Exactly.
ugly. She's not
Yeah,
even ugly. That's the
she's
Yeah.
not
thing.
ugly, and look. She's got a husband. She's been married before. She's been proposed to a million times.
Well, that doesn't
She
mean
has.
anything. I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah,
ugly women that
but
get proposed to, so that's not the real like bar like barometer for it. But the whole thing is ultimately, if you met her in person and she talks all that shit about lighter skinned women, then based on I've never heard someone say that they've met her before that's light skinned that she's cool with. So now it's more leaning in the direction that this is purely just a hustle for her. And again, like my original point, if this is just a hustle for her and she's playing on the emotions of black women, then all black women of all colors should be coming for her, because that's the last thing black women need is black women playing games with their emotions and riling them up about their appearance and having them act and represent the way she represents. Because if they're acting like how she's acting in this stream, that's going to be a major deterrent for any black man or any man for that reason. So that's setting women back by a fucking light year. This whole presentation here, it's a bad look.
I agree. It's a bad look. But AM1, I do think that is. I don't think that it's a hustle because I think that she met Melody, right? Now, say you were in Florida at the time they met, and you walked past her and shot your shot at Melody. I do think that at that point, for whatever strange ass reason, she would have got mad at Melody too. Because,
Wow.
because hear me out. Like when I played the Fresh and Fit thing, the white women that were there, they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. Fresh was the one making the comment They were just sitting down, snickering, laughing, or doing whatever. But they didn't really do anything. They didn't say anything. They didn't interfere. Yet she was like, they need to be drugged too. So Melly, I think she might have been cool with you with the understanding that if somebody had tried and got at you, she would have been mad at you and him.
Her
So a
attitude,
real
she was I'm sorry. I'm
go ahead.
sorry to cut you
Go
off.
ahead.
She was very soft spoken. She had a daughter. We had coffee. We talked. We laughed. It was none of this. It was none of no yelling, no light skin, dark skin, nothing. So the only thing she said to me was, "Oh, people, people say I don't like lighter skinned women, but look, we're cool." And I'm like, "Yeah, we are." And that's the only thing she mentioned, but she never mentioned anything else, anything crazy.
Maybe it's a validation issue.
Right.
It,
Definitely that.
Yeah.
validation issue.
But according to her, she's highly valid. Several proposals and stuff. If that's what validation is, and I agree with AM1. If Tawana Burke can get that type of validation, then pretty much anybody gets it.
Maybe she would seek more validation from a person of a fairer skin, or even being white. Because I still don't understand when I asked the question. She said no. Where if should men who I guess date or marry out of of their own race, being black, should they be excommunicated? And she said no, and that doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know. But I think it's personally a validation issue, and it could stem from either personal experiences, or as some other people say, it's a hustle.
Hmm. Here, let me read these. What about black women don't respect black men who don't have inward juice? Um, I I think that that's a perception more than a reality, at least from what I've seen. I feel that I did okay in my heyday. And A1 met me in real life. I don't have any inward juice at all. So um, and I don't really see the brothers with the inward juice doing particularly well. I do see them with some overweight chick at Walmart from time to time, but I don't see them killing it in the game either. I think that I see it on TV. I see it on the movies. I mean, on Baby Boy, Tyrese was nailing them down. Especially that one. Like I see it there, but I don't really see it in real life. It says, does that give black men a pass to date other races? Here, brother, Eric, you don't need a pass. What is that? A permission slip? Is it a hall pass? Like, you don't really need all that. You don't need that to date outside. You don't. So yeah. Last, it says, he can't get a black woman. So what is he supposed to do? Yeah, I mean, date who you like that likes you. That's what I say on that. To that. All right. And let's see. Alka Babylon. That's Alka, I think that is. Okay. 69 says, not only does she want superiority over light skinned women, but she also wants first right of refusal towards men. Hence why she attacks black men when they don't choose her first. But I think that many are choosing her first. Like if you see a black man with a non-black woman, I'm pretty sure that they chose a black woman first, even if it was Melody in the second grade, and she said, "Nah, because you can't stay within the lines when you in the coloring book." Like I think that most black men have chose a black woman first. Maybe not a dark skinned woman, especially if in the Bay Area, but and not from preference, just from it's so diverse here. But yeah, so they have first right of refusal. They just want like second, third, and they want to have the power to give out passes. Like, I'll give you a pass to go to this particular race of women. So don't put yourself in a position to, yeah.
You make a good point, a game changer, because I remember when she was making that comparison over that I think he was a Mexican man who chose this other light skin or non-black woman, and she was all picking her apart, where she was like she didn't take care of herself, she was fat, yada yada. I think maybe that, in terms of what the question was, I think that has I think that it does make sense. That's just my opinion. Where she wants superiority and she wants to have first dibs to, any male that she seeks, and others like this.
And what male has ever got that pass, game changer? I'm curious. When has that ever happened?
What? First right to refuse?
No, the one who got the pass to go out and the blessing. What male has ever got that, man? I just don't think that exists.
It happens. Listen, it happens with White Keisha is who it happens with. It happens. See, they don't really give the man a pass. What they do is they give the woman a pass to
Exactly.
this particular
So
man.
so they validate a female in order to come in to get the in group. I suppose that's what you're saying.
Exactly. They give her a black card, which gives her license to date you without ridicule.
Yeah, just be like, she's cool. We like her. We like her. Yeah, she could go in and get one of these. And a lot of the times, the women don't want those women that are giving these women these validation cards don't even want the man that woman that other woman wants anyways. So I don't see. It's kind of like the Aisha Curry uh disease or curse. She has a man who she loves apparently, who she's with, who's a star, and she's worried about her own self getting some type of validation from the public, as if like she deserves to get attention when she hasn't done anything. She hasn't done anything to deserve attention. And a lot of women, they feel like they want to have the power to be able to reject, who they want to reject, and based on how much attention they actually get. Um, it's strange. It's really strange. Like, if why do you even care if that's a guy that you don't even want, a man that you don't even want? Why you want him to
But
have a to want you, but you don't want him?
Can I say something? Her thing is she wants to bring dark skinned men back to dark skinned women. Like she don't think dark skinned men should be with light skinned women or with women of other races.
Ah,
She thinks they should only be with other dark skinned people. She
but yet
said dark
she's left her. She had a dark skinned man. She had one, but now she's. Is it correct that she's still with that light skinned guy?
No,
So
he said
I don't.
that he
she's
cheated on her.
married.
well,
She's
she
Okay,
married.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, she's married to the light skinned guy.
okay. So regardless, what's the? Go ahead, go.
No, I was just saying that's her thing. She's into black love. She don't think light skinned people are real black people. She don't. She thinks light skinned people are watered down and dark skinned people are the real black. She
Well, see that's what we have to get into right there. That's a bigger issue than what black people are ready to face right now, I believe. And so we can sit here, we can talk about the South and all, but look, if you put this down, if you could say Louisiana, where light skinned people would consider themselves their own people, I could almost go with you. But we're fastly approaching the day when light skinned people, uh, light skinned children, I'll say, are going to get to the point to where they say, you know what, I'm not accepted by the black people. I'm not accepted by white people. I'm going to go be my own people. And black people, let me tell you something. When that day happens, what do you have left? When they all decide that they are their own people, we can't. It's not okay that we just allow this mistreatment. Either we have to go beyond color anyway. We just going to have to say culture. That's the only thing that matters.
I
And
think a
we've
lot
let.
of it has to do with the sorry.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
I think a lot of it has to do with the men. You know what I'm saying? Because the men, even though the women, they spread the culture, but the men have to instill the culture in their children. So whatever color of child that you have, or whatever, what you teach them and instill in them as far as your culture and your upbringing, and letting them know your history of being a black person in this country. You know what I'm saying? And what it's about, what it means to be black in America. If you're not teaching your child that as a man, you know what I'm saying, then
Wait,
yes,
I don't
we have
understand.
a problem. We
I
have
don't
a
understand.
problem.
Yeah, I don't understand that comment.
No, no, and I'm
As a
I'm gonna
man,
disagree with you. I'm gonna
yeah.
disagree with you, and I'm gonna tell you why I disagree with you. I disagree with it goes as far as to when that proud mixed person is confronted with black people themselves that don't want to accept them. Then they have this internal struggle, see, and they have to ask
Yeah, I agree
themselves,
with
wait a
that.
minute,
I
what's
agree
going
with
on
that.
here?
I agree with that. But
And
like once
that's and
once
see,
again, it's the
because
father.
I've done what you just
Be,
said. I've done what you just said, and I had to sit here and watch this happen with my oldest one. And what can I tell her? I told her this would never happen. I said, stick with this side because this side will never uh, forsake you.
I don't
And I was
understand your
wrong.
sorry about that. I don't understand your comments because I think you're asking the father to take on the mother role when the father is supposed to
no, no,
work
no,
and
no,
grow in
no,
the
no, no. It's like as a man, from my perspective, it's like I was, yeah, of course you're getting taught by your mother and your father, but there were certain aspects about my culture as a black person that when my father taught me, that I rode with,
Are
that
you
I
African
continue to ride
American
with. You know what
or
I'm
what?
saying? Because I had my father there. My father instilled certain values in me as a black man, to let me know, look it, this is where you're from. This is your culture. This the certain types of things that he instilled in me, that helps me understand that, no matter what offspring or whatever I choose, that I need to try to instill those same values. And a lot of times the men don't do that. Not saying the gentleman that said, he tried to do that with his child, and yeah, of course it didn't
He
work.
went to
And
pick
so
black women
and
though.
so it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter, like, what anybody else had told me outside of me, outside, like my friends or whoever, people that attacked me. I held on to what my father taught me. You know what I'm saying? Because my father was the head of my household. My father was the one who led my family. You know
Wait,
what I'm
so
saying? And
did your father teach you how to choose black women or just because I don't understand because if I were a father, I would say, hey, regardless of any woman you marry, these are the certain traits you should follow. And if it's the mom, if the mom, well, similar to the mother, I don't think it's the father's job to try to teach the son to seek specifically black women. I think it's the father's job to.
no, no, I'm not talking about no. Well, I'm not talking about choice in women. I'm talking about the respect in yourself as an individual and what you instill into your children. Not necessarily the woman type. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he did tell me, like, these are type of qualities that you should want in a woman, regardless. You know what I mean? Feminine. Willing to follow your lead and things of that nature. Yes, of course, because in my household I saw that it was represented to me. You know what I'm saying? My mother was a mixed individual, but still, like, she considered herself, even though she was a mixed individual, her mother was white, she still considered herself a black woman. And she lived as a black woman up to the day she died. More than she actually associated herself with the white side whatsoever.
Are
But
you
you
But
black?
know,
historically, you could do that.
Wait,
See, historically, it wasn't the issue that it is today.
are
You
you
didn't
black
have as
American?
many. You didn't have the many people that would browbeat mixed people and say that they were half black, or say that that they're ambiguous or stuff like that. See, that's taking pieces away from the puzzle. One day we're gonna have to confront this issue.
of course, I agree with that completely. We're gonna have to confront it, and then it bounces back to, like, how strong are we as men? You know what I'm saying? Because we are the leaders. We are the leaders of our future nation, of what our nation is now, and what our community is now. So,
You said
I
that.
unfortunately,
disagree
that's
with you. I
unfortunate.
disagree with you there.
Unfortunately, that title has been put upon us, that we
Wait,
are the leaders. So we gotta lead,
are
and
you
how we choose.
I
African
di-
American or are you like of another culture? Because you say culture a lot, but what culture are you referring to?
Yeah, I'm Black American. Yes,
Okay.
I'm
All
Black
right.
American.
So I know cultures for Black Americans can vary between the South, the North, the East.
I
I mean,
was
the
I
West.
was I was I was raised in the West. I'm from the West. I'm a West Coast Black American. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I was raised, and my family history is from Oklahoma.
Okay, so right quick, brothers. Let me read a couple of them. So Sweet Melody Speaks, thanks a lot, love. She says like and subscribe if you haven't already. So yeah, please do that. Hit that like button, and if you haven't, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell twice. All right. So just my 4 cents says, um, who would take her to the company Christmas party? Her husband, brother.
I'm
It,
telling you, she's not like that in person.
yeah, exactly, exactly. But thanks a lot. All right. Carlton Banks says counter evidence, daughters of the trade. Yeah, I mean, so basically, I think that this came right around the time Rashida was saying that black men, didn't really mess with white women or any other women in Africa before the white man came. Well, yeah, kind of like duh, like they messed with what was there. Like so, but yeah, I appreciate you. Thanks a lot, Carlton Banks.
That was in reference to the fact she was saying she made it seem as if black women were oblivious or innocent, completely innocent in those
Oh, I get it. You're
exchanges. And she
you're
was
saying
talking
that
about
she didn't
slavery
mention.
and being she was talking about uh, the black woman had no power and was just used as a tool, from the slave master. And so that's when I made that comment about daughters of the
That's
trade.
a good point, but I don't think she really knows what she's talking about because if you look throughout history, especially with African history, the men would travel to other regions of Africa or even towards Europe where they would actually, especially with the Arabs, where they would take the women back from these regions and take them with them. So I think she's kind of romanticizing that idea, which is not really true.
It's the opposite of romanticizing it. Like she was, she called it grape, and like that was something. And apparently, like the white woman was just sitting there watching, like taking notes, for later that night. I don't know, but like they were just kind of like sitting there watching. But yeah, I don't really want to get into that because it's a matter of philosophy. Like if consent is given to if individuals consent is given once they become a slave, is all acts against them at that point considered. So it's very difficult to determine, like, or can consent be given if consent can be denied? Like it's hard to really talk about something like that, and there's so many different forms of slavery that it's really, you know
Yeah, that's true. Like Game Changer, have you ever saw 12 Years a Slave? Because it sounds like she's trying to describe it how that happened. There's one scene where it's kind of graphic. I'm not going to mention it, but it sounds
yeah.
exactly like she's trying to picture it as that.
Well, and that's why it's a matter of philosophy, because that's chattel slavery, and you're talking about somebody who grew up in a system where, like, how could she not give consent with the understanding of the world that she grew up in? So, like, it's very weird. I just prefer not to even like go down that. I know she was doing it, but yeah.
The only thing I'll point out, game changer, is that we go down that road. As I said earlier, we went down that road after you showed her another way. And when you showed her another path, what she could be doing, that's when that got brought up. And this is how it always happens. And as I said, it's like whatever that Great War they always wait it's like that war they always waiting on. It's always going to come up as soon as you offer. If you say you're doing something wrong or you could be doing something better, we got to go back to white supremacy, man. It's the system, or it's the history, it's the slavery. It always goes back to that.
Well, it did seem, and I didn't really, because she had to go, so I didn't really get to touch on this, but it did seem as if we should not be interested in white women because of the history between white women and black men, and I don't necessarily agree with that. Okay, but
There's very many facets of that history too that we have to go through. Different levels of that history between white women and black men. There's the negative, and then there's not. I'm not going to say the positive, but also the the other side of the coin, the flip side of the coin, which we all know.
Is it okay to date
Oh, right.
Hispanics and Asians if we can't date whites according to her standards?
I don't think she don't. As long as they're dark skinned, I guess you can date them.
Oh, so it's really a matter of skin color. So a dark skinned Brazilian um, is okay. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's unfortunate because like the mainland of the North America seem they tend to have we tend to have like this kind of this idea that we have some type of kind of like superiority over the slave trade when there were actually, if you look at South America, especially in Brazil, it's like there was more actually slaves in that region that were bought by the Portuguese than there was here.
True, true. They are closer to Nigeria, so it would be less expensive to do that.
I remember
Wait,
working at
real
my
quick,
old job.
right,
Okay,
right
I'm
quick,
sorry. Go
brother,
ahead.
brother, right quick, because I'm gonna ask Melody something. I'm gonna read some more super chats. Melody, do you think how would she feel about a black man dating a dark skinned Indian woman?
Um, I don't think she would like it.
You say you don't think she would?
I don't. Yeah, like maybe a Nigerian or like a Brazilian with the hair. Everything gotta. I think everything gotta look
I,
black. You know.
okay,
But if it's like an Indian, the hair and everything, you can tell she's not a black woman. So I don't think she would be fond of that.
okay.
Somalis have
Yeah.
straight hair.
I might mispronounce
Yeah.
it, but Seba, and I'm assuming that the T is silent, says, "Girl, your blood pressure is on 3,000." Okay, I don't know what high and low for blood pressure is. I know the doctor squeeze that thing and they tell me I'm cool, so I just leave it at that. That may not be the case in the near future. Who knows?
Oh, can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Another thing she believes is no light skinned woman looks better than a dark skinned woman. So she doesn't think Beyonce is cute. She doesn't think she said Holly Berry looks worse than any dark skinned woman.
So Halle Berry is less attractive than say Lonnie Love, according to her logic.
I don't know about that, but I think it was Gabrielle Union or somebody she posted
Well,
on
Gabrielle Union
her
is
page.
attractive, but she's not better than Halle Berry in her heyday. But that doesn't take away from Gabrielle Union because Halle Berry is stiff competition. So
It's like
Yeah.
how are you gonna tell the consumer of what is better or what looks better,
I'd go
and you're
with
not the
Gabrielle on that.
consumer?
I would go with Gabrielle just on looks though. Her attitude, no, like her personality, no, but her looks, man. I used remember that Paradise video, yeah, with
She was
LL Cool J.
well,
yeah,
yeah, she's local too, or she grew up out here too.
but her
Yep.
attitude makes her undesirable.
I agree.
I don't think it's complexion. I think it's definitely attitude.
I
And
agree.
unfortunately, most women of a darker hue are the ones who act like that. But a lot of light skinned women as well. It's both.
Okay,
So
let me read a couple
yeah.
more. Then I'm going to cover that because you're digging into what I was saying about it's worse when you do it because you're reinforcing an ethnic stereotype. While they might be on the verge of creating one, but we'll get into that. It says it's not good to interview someone on their period. Um, I, I don't ask like beforehand. Hey, says greetings to the panel. The RX, I appreciate you. Says greetings to the panel. The issue stems from the idea that light-skinned women are viewed as something divine or worldly or otherworldly, causing dark-skinned women to feel insecure and inadequate. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, there are fellas that reinforce that, but I'm saying that do your part. I mean, I'll tell the fellas like, listen, if you think that this chick is hotter than that chick because she's light skinned, then you got another thing coming because that's not necessarily true. But thanks a lot, VRX. Okay, so Melody, you while I look for the rest of them, I think there's one more. So you touched onto something. Um, Wait, what was the last thing you said? I lost my train of thought on what you touched into, but I want to dig into it.
Oh, like about a lot of women of darker hue acting a certain way,
And then you said something after that.
but light skinned women as well. It's both. It's not just one or the other. It's both.
Oh yeah, yeah. So, and this is what I was going about when I was talking about the mammy and the negative stereotypes as it applied to dark skinned black women. They exist. The past is the past. You can't change it. The stigma is always going to be there. However, you have to work to change that reputation. And I know, and Rashida's counter to this, and she has a point, and that is that light skinned women don't have to do that, and it's unfortunate, but they don't.
Mm.
Just like Asian guys don't have to reinvent themselves as far as creating a mathematically competent reputation. They don't have to do that, but we do, so we do. Like, I mean, Martin Luther King said it best: black people have to work twice as hard to get half as much. Yeah, it's true,
Exactly.
but I mean, the worst thing you can do in that scenario is not work. Like, yes, a dark skinned woman would have to be twice as nice and smooth as ice just to counter the previous reputation that was created to no fault of her own or to little fault of her own.
Right.
It's unfortunate, but that's the cross you have to bear. It's not fair, but when are things fair? Like, that's my thought.
Why do you think people look at dark skinned women as more aggressive than light skinned women when they're both aggressive? Black women, period, to me, have nasty attitudes, no matter the complexion.
Well,
And so why do you think that is?
the negative stereotype exists. And as I mentioned, and so Gone with the Wind is the first example of this I've seen, and that movie or play or whatever you want to call it, that film is old as I don't know what. It's rest in peace Betty White, but that was out before she was out. You know, yeah, for real.
Mhm.
So and that had it had both big and little dark skinned women behaving in a very bizarre way that wasn't appealing. One of them just lied for no reason, saying, "Oh, I delivered babies all the time," and come to find out she never delivered a baby. And I don't know why I tell that lie. Like, dang. So it really didn't have like a positive image of darker skinned black women. The reason why I think that they use dark skinned women as opposed to light skinned women back then is because it's black and white TV, and that's how you were sure that they were black.
So
If
you think this stereotype comes from TV?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, it could be a monkey see, monkey do, or art influence in reality. It could be something like that, but either way, it's there.
Waiting to exhale comes from my mind. You know,
So,
Yeah.
at a certain point, they took on the mantle and they decided to perpetuate the negative stereotype. If I was a black woman, I would never, I would, and I had the control to make movies like Terry McMillan did with Waiting to Exhale. All of them would look like Layla Rashad, and there wouldn't be any fat chicks there. Like, period. Like, for real. Like, why would you do that to yourself? Like, the negative image already exists. All right, so
I have to agree to that. Can I make one statement?
yeah, you got it.
Yeah, with this, even when it comes to like I'm finishing up my degree in finance, and when it comes to like most of the classes, it's mostly Asians, and when it comes to like if there's one black person in size for me, they're mostly African. So it a lot of it does play with ethnic reputation and the stereotypes associated with it.
that's socialization, man. That's socialization. You see, we're not pushing our kids to excel in anything math based, and so a lot of these blacks that who are not from the same environment as we are, they come here and they run laps around us. They can use every benefit that's granted for us for themselves.
Well, and the other most represent it's whites, Asians, and the other most represented category is usually Hispanics. And this is from the I'm in the Northeast.
Yeah. So once again, if you want to, and I don't know if it would be an extraordinary benefit to us to change our reputation in that way, as it would be for women to, change their mateability, because we do have reputation for being good at certain things. So, like every race. But if you want to listen, hide your negatives. That's what I'm saying. If you want to improve your reputation, and hide your negatives, especially when dealing with people from different tribes.
Good
Another
point.
another example, and pretty boy, you can back me up on this. Like, do you see any black massage parlors?
Nope, not out here, not in the Bay Area.
Yeah,
It's
exactly,
it's mostly all Asian.
exactly, and
But
they'll even say
also
they'll even say it on
also
the thing, right quick, brother. They'll even say it on the thing. Asian massage, Chinese
hmm
massage. They'll say that, and I got a feeling that if she had a shop and it said massage by Rashida, it probably wouldn't do as well because they don't really have that reputation. Asian women have that reputation, and they deserve it.
and
They
and
go and they walk on your back. Like, I like it when you get one of those 80-pound ones, the old ones, and they just walk on my back. I love that crap.
like when I was living overseas, I lived in Australia for about 8 years, and one of the things about Australia was that again, like that stereotype is not just a U.S. thing. From what I saw, it's also like in other westernized nation, other westernized country, because Australia is kind of westernized. That all the massage parlors were Asian.
Yeah.
They're all Asian. You know what I mean? It's like, so
So
yeah, that's very common.
they're capitalizing on an existing reputation, just like the lighter skinned women are the sugar nice, the sugar spice everything nice reputation. Now they could ruin that reputation in a generation by acting an ass, a consistent ass for long enough. That will change your reputation. But until then, you have to deal with the fact that that's what exists.
Yep, and it's very similar with the what I speak a lot about is the whole thought culture. Right now it's like that culture is being perpetuated, globally, and but we can destroy that. That could be stopped, but it seems to be it has a lot of legs right now, and it's unfortunate. That's why a lot of these things are, these negative stereotypes are, as far as our women go, are able to strive, and thrive. I mean, thrive.
You don't think it's too
I'm,
late though?
I'm
It's way too many
it's
thoughts out
never
there,
it's never too late to change your reputation
I,
of
I,
something.
I
Yeah,
tend to
it's not
agree.
too late.
I tend to
You know,
agree.
huh?
right? There's
Yeah.
way
I
too many
think I think the
thoughts.
biggest issue. I agree with Melly on this one, and I think the biggest issue there is that see, this is a larger cultural war than what we can see. I mean, we as black people, we are laser focused on things like skin tone and race, and I think that we are fighting a world. We're still on the battlefield fighting World War II with that, man. And I think in my head, I think the dominant society has not even a dominant society. I'm gonna say that the people at the top understand that it's not about race or it's about culture, and they are killing us because we don't even know we fighting the battle that we're fighting,
I
and
Good
agree.
they
point. Good
have this
point.
thing down
Yeah.
pat.
I,
They have this thing down pat, and so this is if we wanted to turn this around, you have to understand this is part of the culture that this is Babylon. So you want to talk about us turning this around? This is a whole machine. This is why it's so hard to help black women today, because Babylon is behind them, telling them, yeah, encouraging them to dig deep and make mess themselves up more, and they feel they can always fall back on Babylon. And so my challenge to the pro blacks, with me, I'm one of the passport bros, just to let you know. And my challenge has been that if if you really want to build your black community, then follow me. You cannot build an empire inside of an empire. Find a place, take your black queen, take your kids away from this system, man, because I promise you, as well intentioned as you are battling against the system in its heart, man. And it's hard to do.
Great point. Great
Just
point.
what she said with what she said about the thought culture thing just the other day. I haven't been able to shake this image. Just bothered me so much. But the idea of twerking anywhere in restaurants and stuff, it bothers me. But the other day I seen a guy, a skinny dude with skinny jeans that was sagging with a belt on. I'm gonna say that again. A skinny dude with skinny jeans that was sagging with a belt on, and he had a
Wow.
colorful belt. And this is not just a battle between us anymore. The people at the top are doing this. Do you see what I'm saying? This is our children are being turned over to ideology that we can't get down with, and the reason why is because we are losing this cultural war while we are fighting World War II.
Okay, good point. Here, let me read a couple of these. Her perception on YouTube is why people don't have the same outlook as Melody and GC. I lost the context of that. Can somebody help me with that?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh no, he's saying that we have a better outlook on her than other people because we've seen different sides of her. Okay, I see what he's saying.
Oh,
Yeah,
get it.
but on YouTube, yeah, she's yeah, and that's because she's talking about something that she's very passionate about that stems from her childhood and all that good stuff.
Remember, GC, she's been doing this since 1996. She's been the dark skinned activist, so she's been doing this for a while.
Yeah,
So,
no, it's a passionate subject. I get it. Like somebody could be cool, but then you bring up something or somebody, and next thing
I
they
do think she's sincere about it.
yeah. Okay.
Melody, I understand she
Right quick. Lionel player
may
wants
be well intentioned.
right quick.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Where black businesses are, it will have to deal with black detractors to act out and destroy it. Okay, so yeah, he's talking about like the people that come and twerk in your business or people that want to tear up the club and stuff like that. So yeah, and they do feel more comfortable doing that to black-owned establishments. And for whatever reason, brothers ask for discounts. No, they do. They, like, because they feel like a kinship. Like, hey, you should let me,
Amen.
type deal. Not really that type of. You're not helping your people out with that. So yeah, I definitely agree. All right, and that is the last one. Let me go to the Cash App, and then I'll give it like 13 more minutes. All right, so had a Cash App here. Give me a second. Big Magda Fisher, greatly appreciate you. Says for this is the attitude that feeds the stereotype. Yeah, that's what I was trying to explain. I was trying to say that you have to counter it. It's unfair, and she said that she's all about fairness, but it's not going to be fair. That's life isn't fair, but you can work to make it more fair for your for future generations. And I do have that goal for you. I do want you to win in that regard. I'm indifferent to it as far as which woman is choice. Like I don't really care who's at the top, but you do. And if you want to win in that regard, then you're going about it the wrong way. You have to. What, did I read the name wrong? Yeah, Fisher. Yeah, I read it right. Anyway, yeah, you have to change yourself, and by doing so, work towards changing the appearance of others that look like you. Yeah. All right, Bill. I think that was Carlton Banks that was about to say something.
Yeah, I was just saying that if we are to get anything done, we have to acknowledge that the work, I know she's hurt. and she may be well intentioned, but she's not thinking about the results. This is what I said to begin with. She's not looking at her results. If she loses one mixed child or just light skinned child, if she loses a light skinned child and that light skinned child goes on to be the advocate of the new race, what has she done? If that, that's why I said this. It's why are we fighting over these foolish issues? She needs some help, man. I mean, I mean that in the kindest way possible. We're discussing this, but she needs help, man.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Melody, fellas, y'all have anything?
I think we've covered everything.
I think,
just
like, once again, I think it's from a place of hurt, place of trauma.
Well, yeah,
that's what I think. Yeah, definitely.
Well, she admits that it's not a revelation. She starts off, and I know some of you got here late, but she started off with this is how I was treated as a child, and people in my family treated me worse than they treated the light skinned cousins and things like that. And I think that that's actually happened. I don't doubt that what she described actually happened. Why? Because I've met Southerners and they do crap like that.
Definitely. And you said you was from the South. I think someone on the panel.
Yeah, it's me.
So you tell us.
I'm not from the dirty South. I'm actually in the deep South. And I'm gonna tell you right now,
okay.
yes, and I'm telling you right now, I just don't see it. I feel like that's undeserved. I really want to ask y'all for some numbers.
You really don't see it?
No, my mother married two white men in my lifetime.
What's the difference between deep South and dirty
my mother married two white men.
Well, right quick. What's the
dirty South is okay.
You there?
What's the difference between deep South and dirty South?
Yeah. What's the difference?
Okay, Atlanta.
No.
You can say Atlanta. You could say Memphis. That's dirty South. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And that's really where black people and our culture has really we've kind of separated and we're doing our own thing. You can hear it in the way we talk. I'm in East Tennessee. If I go to Middle Tennessee, we sound different. You understand what I'm saying? If I go to West Tennessee, then Middle Tennessee kind of sound the same. But East Tennessee is more, it's with the hills, the valleys, the mountains. I'm up here where people got moonshine and stuff like that. You understand what I'm saying? And so, even being here is what I was saying. Even being here, my mother, my aunt married a white man. My mother married two. The second one died, and she moved back to a black. Now she never hated black people, black men. She never expressed any kind of hate or nothing like that. But we don't have. I just don't see it, man. I mean, then again, it could be exclusive. It could be my area.
I have a question for you. Are you light skin or dark skin?
I'm brown skin. I'm right there in the middle. I really don't understand what all this fuss is about. Yeah.
Okay,
so you don't get.
I'll tell you what I've seen. My sister, she her daughter is mixed, part Latin of some sort, maybe Mexican, I don't know. And she has two of them. And my cousin's wife made it a point to say, oh, where's those pretty girls at? Look at them, they're so pretty. And she has daughters the same age. I did know that. I thought it was kind of weird. I did think that her behavior in that regard was weird. I'm gonna say that. And she's from Texas. Another story that I heard was that niggas be on the bus in Florida stretching out Twixes, the caramel and Twixes, to determine how black they are. And this is grown men. I heard stuff like that. I heard about paper bags. I heard
brown paper bag. The brown paper bag there, yep.
I heard that y'all got.
Now, when you said,
hold on, right quick.
When you said,
right quick, brother, let me rock, because you think I'm making this up. These are Southern tales I hear. I hear that y'all have gangs that are color based, meaning that y'all got a dark skinned nigga gang and y'all got light skinned nigga gangs. I heard y'all do that. I heard y'all do it with fraternities too. Like even because like here it just we had the same fraternities obviously, but it just spans skin color. Y'all don't let brothers in based on their skin color to certain organizations. I heard all kind of stuff. I heard all kind of stuff there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but these are Southern tales I hear that just comes off weird as hell to me.
Me too. And also, can I say this? I'm sorry, I'm chewing. Can I say this? A lot of dark skinned men I know from the South, like, okay, for instance, Mr. Fantastic, they all say they like them red bone, they like them thick, they don't like them dark skin. All of the dark skinned guys I know say that from the South. So I do understand. I do see it myself.
So people listen. I'm not from there. People saying not at all true. I'm not from there. I will say this: the homies don't have a reason to lie. And why would their imagination even go there? That's so weird. Like I never thought about Twix in that way. You saying that they just think up lies to tell me why? All right. So somebody is like, I don't care. All I know is that it's different. The niece thing I've seen firsthand in Texas, but other stuff I don't care. I'm just saying if there's a there, if there's an issue, then go for it. And yeah, I have no and on YouTube, Melody brings up a good point. On YouTube, I had noticed that a lot of these Southern brothers, it does seem like skin tone is more important than weight. And that's just unheard of in Cali. That is
Yeah.
No, you need to be light skinned and you need to be fat or thick in the South.
that is unheard
Oh
of.
no.
Yeah,
That,
that's what I heard.
so when I say that a lot of Southern brothers be on some weird, that's the type of weird I'm talking about. And I heard Fantastic say that. So
Well,
yeah,
when
that's weird I'm talking about.
you said Texas, and when all
What is
this
that?
was
Deep
going,
or
I was
dirty or
thinking
what?
Texas
Huh?
because
No, I'm
huh?
saying is that deep or dirty or what? Yeah, this happened in Texas.
No, that would be dirty, man. I'm thinking of Swisher House and all that. I'm thinking about where the hip hop originates from, and it's a big colorism, I guess. To be honest, it's big there, and then I say that on the opposite end of the spectrum, in a different way. If you look at Louisiana, you have a system where you have a whole group of people who consider themselves their own people, and it's really color based, and it's what do they call Creoles, or what is it called?
Cajun. They call it Cajun ass.
Cajun.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, Louisiana?
No, I think it is
Yeah.
Creole.
Yeah. It's the
Yeah,
Creole. Yeah. Louisiana.
Oh, they look white, damn near white.
but yeah, and so there's a whole highfalutin aristocratic type thing, but in color has a lot to do with it there too. And then okay, then you said what you were saying was going on in Florida, man. I mean, I can't say it's not true, but I've never heard of nothing like that in my whole entire lifetime. But I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not true. Either way, I'll say this: I believe it's us operating on at a base that we shouldn't be operating under. I think that's beneath ourselves. It's signs of a broken culture because that's what we have. We have a broken culture, and
All I'm saying, brother, is that, and this isn't to shit on the South. This is just me saying I heard stories,
mhm.
and I didn't think about stuff like that until college, and I started meeting dudes from the South, and I did notice that it was just something there. Even if it's exaggerated, because what they're doing, what they did was they told me like a lifetime of things in one thing. So it's like 100% of what they told me in that regard. So granted, it'll come off different, but I'm just saying more so there than here. There's something going on there. That's all I'm saying. And I think you could agree to that.
You'll find that in a
Yeah,
lot of cultures and a lot of different races, like universal. You know, like when me traveling through Southeast Asia, the fairer skinned Asians were like literally like kind of like put more on a pedestal and seem to get more respect than the darker skinned Asians. That's what I saw. And also, you'll notice like in India they have the caste system too, and things of that nature. Even though it's based, a lot of it's based on what family you come from and things like that. You'll notice they also have like they call the Anglo Indians, like they call them Anglo Indians from India. So this the colorism thing is real, and but it's just not with black people, in the United States. It's kind of a universal thing. But one thing I notice about Caucasians, you're not really gonna hear Caucasians be like, "Oh, they're darker than us." It used to happen, and when it came to Italians, and things of that nature, the Sicilian Italians, compared to the ones from the Nepalese, Italians and things of that nature, they had type of a colorism thing going on at one point too, So it's not necessarily a unique thing just to black people in America.
Brother, you talking about
Wait,
Southeast
wait, wait,
Asia,
wait,
man? That's a
wait, wait,
whole
wait.
different level.
Sherry,
Yeah, it's like
fellas,
they're serious.
fellas. Cherry's been waiting for a while. Cherry, you got the mic. Go ahead. Don't say I interrupted for no reason. Are you there?
Yes, if you can hear me, I'm here.
Okay.
Yes.
Welcome. What's on your mind?
Yeah, so I just been wanting to say that I have been watching Rashida Strober for almost 2 years. I have been following her a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not here to bash her. And I do understand, her purpose of being on here to discuss her plight of colorism and speaking on her personal experiences. And I do understand that she has been hurt and traumatized. My only thing is that my only thing is the hypocrisy for me. I noticed that how she comes on here and she complains of things like that as far as name calling and discrimination, especially the name calling as well. Yet she herself does a lot of body shaming. She calls us light skinned women mediocre. She calls other people who she doesn't feel attractive. She feels free to call them fat and breezy and overweight. So she does a lot of body shaming, and she also calls other dark skinned people crispy, black ass, burnt. She even calls herself these belittling names. Yet when someone calls her those same names, then it's quote unquote darkism. And is and another thing that she does is that how she likes to criticize other people's for their dating choices while she proudly brags and sings about having a light skinned boyfriend. So it just makes it hard for people who like me to take women like her seriously because like I feel like everything that she preaches out and advocates against, she does the exact opposite. She does the exact same thing that she's against. And that is my issue for me. And then so I'm not on here to bash her. It's just I just wanted to call out the hypocrisy for her. So I don't understand. I don't see if other people pick up on that or notice that. So
Well,
that's one thing that I wanted to say.
I don't see it as hypocrisy because here's the thing. You mentioned terms like fat shaming. Fat women should be ashamed of being fat. And that's because it's something that they have control over. Where a woman's skin color, outside of chemical change, they don't really have control over that. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't say that the two can be conflated. Is there a hypocrisy in using, color-based slurs against others? While saying that people shouldn't use them against her and her type. Yeah, there's some hypocrisy there. Granted on that, unless she, especially when she does it against other darker skin women. Absolutely, I do see that. I don't really see it as much on the weight portion though, because fat isn't a race. It's a lifestyle combined with genetics, combined with a lot of other things. But it's generally unappealing. So, um, And as I mentioned before, I don't really mind a woman's color. I do mind a woman's weight. Absolutely. That's very important. So I'll let you respond and then I'll go to Classic Ruby.
I understand what you're saying, but my thing is that if you're fighting for equality, why then like why then go and and do the very same thing that you're against? And like when I talk about the body shaming and things like that, she does the exact same thing to lighter skinned women as well. Like she's so quick to remind us that light skin doesn't make you beautiful, and it's okay for her to call us mediocre and low average and not quote unquote not as cute. But when someone does it to her, then it's quote unquote darkism. And a lot of and the excuse that I hear from many dark skinned women and a lot of dark skinned people in general is the reason for that excuse is because lighter skin has always been the standard of beauty. So it shouldn't hurt as much or hurt at all if we are ridiculed for our skin color and our uh looser hair texture, something that we had no control over in society. So that's just in a way of them saying, oh well, you guys have been placed on a pedestal for all of these years, and you guys are the standard of beauty, so it doesn't matter. We've had it worse, so shut up. So that's exactly what it sounds like, and that is my issue. It's like if you're fighting, so it's like you want equality, but you only want it on your terms, but you're only very selective about it, and that's my only issue with Rashida Strober. Is like she's not really consistent with it. It's like she's selective about who she wants to be proud of their skin tone, who she feels is allowed to date whoever. Like
Right.
it's okay for her to police other people's dating preferences and say, oh, you only it's okay for for a dark skinned woman to date a light skinned man, but if a dark skinned man dates a light skinned woman, it's a problem. And I don't understand the whole dating policing thing anyway. I think what two consenting adults do with their choices is really not anyone's business. So I don't understand why she's so concerned about it, especially being that she's engaged to a light skinned man in that situation. Anyway, it doesn't make any sense. It's like if you have a man, why are you complaining about other men not wanting? To me that comes from a place of insecurity. Like you already have a guy that adores you and obviously loves you. So why are you still complaining about not being chosen and not like being looked at as um enough? To me, if I was a guy, I would consider that a red flag.
Cherry
So
Licious.
Okay, so right quick, because then we got to go to Ruby. She's not looking for equality when it comes to dating. She's looking for superiority, meaning that she wants to take the penis out of your light skinned vagina and place it into a dark skinned one. That is her ultimate goal in this. There is no equality here. Let's be clear. I don't think she even pretends that that's what she's looking for. No, she wants superiority, as every woman should. And my response to that is, you have to compete for my penis. You can't just get it on the grounds of past oppression.
I agree with you, Game Changer. It's kind of like with what we saw with the Black Lives Matter movement, where they use like the deaths of black men, but use it to advance their agenda of protecting, the I would say the alphabet community. They use it to advance their own agenda. So I think what you're kind of voicing your anger about Jerry Licious is that she's using this to advance her own interests, and they do not align with yours. It's more of a grift, I would call it.
All right. So Tamika White said, this channel is racist and I plan to shut it down. This is a colorist racist channel. Say something else. Say one more thing. See, I don't play the light skin song. I will play the light skin song on you.
What is wrong with her?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a troll.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Get him out of here. You should get her out of
Wow.
here.
No,
Hi,
one more thing. But
hi, I miss you.
I know I miss you too. I'm so happy I was able to you stayed up long enough for me to be able to jump on. So I wanted to come up and speak my piece on Miss Strober because I did, to be fair, I missed the entire interview portion. Like I literally heard her saying goodbye. I was like, damn it, I missed it.
Okay.
But I'm also guessing that she's just saying the same things I've heard her say over the last 5 years. And I doubt that it's changed overly much. And so, with that being said, I'm also going to second what I think her name was Cherry said. I think she's a massive hypocrite, and I've thought that because initially, right, it's the same thing with it. Who's the one who has the magazine for dark skinned women? I think it's Chrissy.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, she's the
Okay.
worst. Yeah.
Yeah, so I supported before I knew about this space period. I used to support that magazine on Facebook because I thought it was a great thing. Well, dark skinned women. You get that for little girls, and honestly, even just Black women in general. It's going to be a beautiful thing, right? So I was supporting that until I listened to what she had to say about anything but dark skinned women. And I'm going to say the same thing about Rashida. Initially, I was like, okay, dark skinned activist, I kind of get it. But then, well, are you a dark skinned activist for also dark skinned Black boys who are also tormented and teased and literally treated like they are inferior and like not worth even talking to, or to the point where you have like these stars. Oh, I can't remember what the hell his name is. A young rapper a couple years ago, and he was saying he won't be with a dark skinned woman, not because he doesn't like them or he's
That's
not
Kodak
attracted to
Black.
them.
Kodak Black.
Yeah, Kodak Black, but because then he would make a dark skinned child, and it's not because of him not wanting it; it's because of the way he was treated, and he doesn't want to make an even blacker child to be treated even worse. So I thought initially when I heard dark skinned activist, I was thinking, okay, she's for all dark. No, she doesn't
No,
care how dark skinned boys
he
are
said
treated.
Black women are too rough. They're too rough, and that's
Wait a
associated with
minute.
stereotype.
Yeah, but
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is this the nigga that grabbed his mama ass?
Yeah, that's him. That's him.
Yeah, that's that.
is it?
Yeah.
Hey, where's he
Listen.
from? Where's he from, Game Changer? Where's he
Everything he
from?
says is null and void. I don't know
No,
where.
no, okay, listen. I know, but I'm just talking about the way he felt. And I'm saying it. I saw it in school. I dated when I was in the ninth grade because I'm obsessed with dark skin. Like, the darker the better. If you are literally the color of black, I think it's the most beautiful thing. And so my boyfriends, especially when I was younger, were very, very dark. And my like ninth grade boyfriend, I remember him, like, he just had such a low self-esteem and self-concept, and it was because of his skin color, right? Because of the things that people have said to him his whole entire life, and he's got to just laugh along like it's fine.
Classic
And
movie. Kodak Black said that Black women are too rough, too aggressive, which a lot
yeah,
of
you know what? You're probably talking about a different interview, because the interview I'm talking about is very specifically, he didn't add in all of that. It had nothing to do with personality, it had nothing to do with that. He was talking about the fact that he didn't even like being as dark as he is, that he was shamed and ostracized for it. And so there's no way he could get another dark skinned woman, because in his slightly broken mind, you get too dark skinned, very dark skinned, you're going to make like a black like tar child. And then I think it was
I
Vlad.
think
Vlad
that's
was
the one.
asking
I
him.
think that's the one he did on Vlad. I think that's
Yeah,
the one he did
Vlad.
on Vlad.
And then Vlad was
Yep.
asking him, what's the problem with that? And he didn't want to vocalize it. But what's the problem with that? Well, he saw the way he was treated as very dark in comparison to just normal dark and brown skinned kids. And he doesn't want to create a kid that's going to have it even harder. So I'm saying, I'm not talking about all of the other stuff. I'm just literally saying, when I heard Rashida Strober, oh, she's a dark skinned activist. Hey, I can think of people over the course of my life that even though I thought dark skin was beautiful, that they didn't, because of the way that they were treated and ostracized. Oh, so you're going to try to care about the kids. No, just the dark skinned women. Wait, what? Okay, so not women's issues, just dark skinned women issues. Okay, so, and I actually talked to her at one point on a panel, and I said, well, I was really treated horribly and ostracized specifically by dark-skinned Black girls. And then light-skinned Black girls didn't want to be friends with me, and vice versa, because if we were friends together, then we would have been treated even worse. Because it's like, oh, what, you only want to have light-skinned friends? Oh, yes, you are a colorist. So, like, you couldn't win, right? And she said, basically what she said was, good. You should be on the losing end, finally. Like, wait, what? Like 11-year-old me should have been on the losing end because some 30-year-old woman's having dating issues? Like, when I listen to, she doesn't care. In fact, I should be treated horribly my whole life by Black women, and then dark-skinned Black women. And then when I get older and I'm handed a part for a movie role that I auditioned for, or something else I worked really hard for, and I know dark-skinned women are in the running, I should step down. I should bow out, so that way the dark-skinned women get a chance. Like, these are things that she said, right? And so I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So you don't care about Black advancement. You don't care about Black people. You don't care about Black women, and you don't care about dark-skinned people. You only care about dark-skinned women, and in the most hypocritical sense possible, because you don't care how any other Black person is treated or denigrated or put down. You don't even care how detrimental that behavior is, or how it's like a perpetual cycle. So if anything, these dark-skinned girls are often getting these feelings of, feeling terrible about themselves starting where? At home with their other dark-skinned family, right? It's not coming from the little light-skinned girl who's in their class. It's coming from their families. But it's okay for you to go to school and ruin that little girl's life because your mom's an asshole, because she deserves it, because at some point, some boy that you like is going to choose her over you, and it must be because of the skin tone, and so she deserves to lose as much as possible in life whenever possible, and if you can affect that gay for you, it's a win. Like, I don't know, I just think it's a really disgusting mentality. It's really treacherous, and at the end of the day, it's, even if we changed a whole bunch of other things that just related directly to dating with dark-skinned women, and they did change their image, right? Black women would still be very fractured, because if that's the mentality that's being pushed, right? That no, we should literally destroy each other from childhood, when we're not dating, when we should be learning how to work together and lift each other up to make a better community, and to make a better kind of mini society within our schools, within our neighborhoods, whatever, for the other children coming up, because you don't know what the hell color your kids are going to come out, right? No, let's not do that. It's all going to be about me, 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 destruction, destruction, destruction for everyone except for me. Like, I just think it's just tragic to me.
It is a large unnecessary division that shouldn't be there. That they would be better served. And I do think that if there was a light skinned woman, and I'm not talking about the relationship she has with Melody offline. I'm talking about online. If there was a light skinned woman who was completely an advocate for that, which I don't know why one would be, but she would back that particular person, and all of the comments that they make about the skin and light, bright, et cetera, would not exist as it pertains to that person. I do agree with that. And were she proposing a complete meritocracy between women, in which case darker skinned Black women may, I'm not going to say definitely, but they may still lose, then I think that more women of different hues would get down with that. But she's not. She's pretty much saying that we should be default in front, in the lead. It's kind of like if you had a race and you say, oh, wait a minute, this isn't fair because this person has better shoes. Like, okay, I'll give you a 3-foot head start. It's like, yeah, but they've been training their whole life. Okay, 10 foot, and then they're going to continue to complain until they actually win.
And then what's worse, it's not even just that they want to be the default, the head start, right? It's that if I win anyway, it's my responsibility as a light-skinned woman to give up any one of my wins in favor of a dark-skinned woman getting it. Otherwise, I hate Black people. Like, these are things that she really has said. And that is the thing that's upsetting to me. So it's like, or like, if I win, right, there's no way I won because I'm better, right? It's not because I studied harder, I worked harder, I gave a better interview, you know what I mean? I have a better personality, I'm a better sales pitcher. It's not because of any of that, right? It's because I'm light-skinned. And because I'm light-skinned, therefore I have light-skinned privilege. And that's why I won over her. Couldn't be because I'm better. Couldn't be because I'm smarter, right? And so I just think it's also so dismissive and insulting, as though, and I've heard this kind of terminology with other women as well, where it's like they act like basically all light-skinned women are just walk around, and I mean all of them, as long as you're light-skinned, it's fine, right? The whole entire world just wants to sleep with you, and so because they want to sleep with you, they confuse business with pleasure all the time, and that's how you've gotten your position anywhere in life. Right, you failed out of high school, but then they saw you were light skinned, so they let you into university. Like, that's how they're speaking about it. Like, as though light skinned women can never earn anything ever. Right? It's always about looks, it's always about beauty. There is no such thing as a meritocracy. And even when people get things on their own merit, as soon as she's light skinned, they just dismiss it. It's like when white people call everything affirmative action. Oh, the black people in college has affirmative action. Oh, he's not a real lawyer. It's affirmative action, right? Like that's what she's doing. And she doesn't see how, as a collective, like you're a minority in the society you live in. I'm even in a society where we're even smaller minority. But the point is, you're in a global collective society where you are nowhere near the majority. And here's the problem, is that majority population is not making these differences that she's making in her head, right? They're not looking and going, oh, well, this is a light-skinned one and this is a brown-skinned one. No, they just see us and we're all black. That's it. If they can identify you as black, you're black. That's it. Like they're not doing all of these things she thinks society's doing. And she thinks that there's like this privilege. And to an extent, like I said, is there some privilege? I will admit to it. Yeah, absolutely. But she thinks that like there's like a privilege to the point where, well, if you're light skinned, it just protects you. Like society basically accepts you as white, and then you just have this easy life, and you have an easy dating life, and men treat you so well, and everyone treats you so well, and they all cater to you. And I'm like, where does like it's not even a true perception.
I was saying, and we all know that's not true.
Right. Like that's not the way reality really is. And I know that we have a tendency when we're unhappy to fantasize like the grass is greener on the other side. But to try to speak about it like it's reality when there's no facts, there's nothing proving her perception correct at all. Like nothing. You know, we know that all black boys, for example, in school, all of them, are treated more harshly, are punished more quickly and more often for the same behaviors as non-black children. And they will get like even more harsher punishments. So overall, if you're a black boy, it doesn't matter if you're light-skinned or dark-skinned, you're going to be treated worse than your non-black peers. But
I have to disagree. You're kind of victimizing, you know, black people in general.
No, I'm not victimizing them. When I'm talking about bias. No, it's an objective fact. You can look at research.
There are biases, but it's not. It doesn't represent the collective as a whole.
No, it actually literally in this society, in the Western world, when I'm talking about research that they've done again and again and again, and they've proved that these inherent implicit biases are affecting our children in mainstream schools. Yes, no, absolutely. This is not victimization of anything. This is just telling you that this is what the objective fact is. Just like the objective fact is that while it happens overall to black boys, the darker the black boy, the more it happens.
I can share research with you that says otherwise too.
Can you?
Okay, we'll have a separate show on that. But
okay.
But you were saying that to make a greater point, and so let's circle back to that. I think your greater point is that there are other marginalized groups, and it's selfish to focus on one. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, like we're as an overall population, we all got problems. Like she's acting like the only people who have problems are dark-skinned women, and the only people who deserve support are dark-skinned women. And the way dark-skinned women react as a result of having those problems, even before they know they have those problems, like when they terrorize other kids and get into groups because they feel bad about themselves and destroy something. No, it's fine as long as it's a dark-skinned woman doing it, right? Like
does she want to come back on the panel, Dark-Skin TV?
Yeah, I'll step down so she can come up. Because I mean, why she too busy to talk?
Wrong, but I really plan on closing down by now. Definitely. But Rashida, if you could say in the chat room or otherwise, what part is the lie? I'm curious because she did, say a lot of things, and I thought they were true. But I don't give a fuck about your light skin problems. So she's saying that she said that.
That's what I said.
Well, no, well, where's the lie? Because Rashida, she's saying that she's saying that you're saying that. She's saying basically that your platform only cares about dark-skinned black women and don't give a shit about dark-skinned black men, lighter-skinned black men, lighter-skinned black women. Where's the lie? You saying she's lying, but you just reinforce what she said.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Actually, no, these two ladies, they just came up and talked, man. All they did was prove my point, man. They just proved my point, man. I'm done. That was my exit statement, man.
I'm lost.
I would love to hear it. Because you know me, I don't misrepresent people. I don't talk shit and gossip. I've listened to countless. And in fact, you know what? One of the things I do respect about her, she is willing to get up on a platform like this and have a discussion. Like a real discussion. She'll go back and forth. She's not sitting there. She doesn't need to fall into shaming and yelling and screaming and acting all crazy. And then, no, she'll have a discussion. And so that's why I've heard her several times in several discussions with Manosphere people. Like, I think I've heard her on your channel before, right, Game Changer? And then I've heard her.
Times. You're saying that you met her on my channel, or you confronted her on my channel?
No, I'm trying to remember where I've seen her do interviews with other Manosphere people, because I've seen it before. Like, I've seen her do several interviews, so I've watched several interviews. Yeah, right. So I'm not just making things up about her. I missed this one, and I made sure to preface by saying I can't imagine much has changed, but I didn't see this one, but I've seen so many. Right, and she keeps saying the same thing. I didn't even mention her light skin fiance and how hypocritical that is. Right, I didn't go there. Just on the face of, hey, like, if I agree with you, if you're a dark-skinned woman and you find love with whoever you find, great, but you were in school too, so you know that the darker any kid was, boy or girl, they were teased, they were not chosen, blah blah. You hear the narrative; it goes against both men and women. So why can't those dark-skinned men who aren't getting chosen want light-skinned women or other races of women who will choose them? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. No, if they do that, if they do this, make the same choice you did, then they hate dark-skinned women. Then they hate themselves. Like, that's so hypocritical to me. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. You understand why they do it because you did the same thing for the same reason.
I will marry 10 light-skinned men. Oh!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was actually said.
There you go.
It's a grift. It's a grift.
Erase that one.
Mm-hmm.
So she calls you a whining ass. So okay.
All there right. You go. Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, Rashida. I don't think that she's complaining about her own light skin problems right now. I think that she's saying that it's not right that you aren't sympathetic to other people's problems. And there's some of that I agree with. Now, I want to say this. It does come off as a deflection, Ruby, when you do that, because she's talking about her issues as a darker skinned woman, and it does seem like a all lives matter type change the subject, attack there. You see where I'm going with that?
Okay, let me clarify then. I guess, and I agree with you, absolutely. So then let me clarify. I supported Rashida Strober and I supported Chrissy at the beginning when they were just talking about dark-skinned women and what their problems were and wanting to be a voice for them and wanting them to have positive representation, whatever. I heavily supported both of them. My issue was not that they didn't then also focus on all the other issues. My issue was more what they were saying, like anti every other group. As really not only do they say, I don't give a shit about your problems, like, period, right? But almost like negating them, and then also ignoring other groups' problems to the point where it's like I said with the dark-skinned men. Well, dark-skinned men were treated just like you were, which is why they are dating whoever chooses them that they can choose. Do you know what I mean? But no. You can't be empathetic enough to recognize, no, that's probably what they're doing. They're doing the same thing as you. No, they're woman haters. They hate dark-skinned women and they hate themselves, right? Like, it's so hypocritical for you to turn on other groups. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's what my issue is when you turn on the other groups, when you make proclamations about what other groups of Black folk have to do in order to be supporters or to not be labeled as dark-skinned haters, right? And without any form of compassion or understanding for the position that they are in as people. Like, no, like, they should have no position. Who cares if they die alone? Who cares if they have to live in a ditch because they didn't take that job, right? And if they don't sacrifice everything for the betterment of dark-skinned women, well, then they're dark-skinned women haters. Like, you don't care about anyone else. And to an extremist point. Whereas when I only heard you, when I only heard clips and whatever of you and Christy talking about just dark-skinned women and dark-skinned women activism and, really just wanting to promote the image of beauty and dark-skinned girls, or, just addressing, hey, dark-skinned girls, when you hear this, that's bullshit, believe this instead. Or I was cool with that. I thought it was great. But then I started hearing attacks against me as like a light skinned woman, and I was like, the hell? I'm here supporting. What the hell are you talking about? Right? No, they're all like that. Like, wait, what? We all hate dark skinned women. We all this. We all that. Like it's so divisive, and it's really hypocritical sometimes, depending on which point we're talking about.
So, Rashida says, your light skin ass ain't got no right to even speak on dark skin issue. Speak on dark skin.
Why not? I came out of a dark skinned woman.
But
my standard of beauty is dark skinned women, which is why I was supporting people like you.
Yeah, those
until I found out how much you hate
divisive.
people like me.
They're very divisive.
Wait a minute. You saying that you have a thing for dark skinned women?
My standard of beauty. So like growing up, my standard of beauty is dark-skinned women. Like I was not like, oh, light-skinned women are so beautiful. My mother was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. And dark-skinned women out there were the most beautiful women to me, right? Like that was the thing you're living up to, is what dark-skinned women look like, not like what light-skinned women or white women. For me, to me, my standard of beauty was dark-skinned women. Flash hair.
I felt the same way about my sister. She was chocolate, beautiful, hazel eyes.
Wait, I have a question for you too, Jen. So did you girls feel authentically black when you're growing up because of your did you guys not feel that you're authentically black growing up because of your fairer skin?
No, I knew I was black. I didn't even know colorism was a thing until I was in like middle school. I had no idea all of this was happening out there. I was just another shade of black. That was it.
All right.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's right, Rashida, that you say that she can't speak on you because you speak on light-skinned people. So I think that she has every right to, say her piece on dark issues. I mean, that's just my take on that. Like, I don't see the difference, but I will say this.
Exactly.
I will say this. It does come off, and this is probably why you may have trouble getting men to co-sign, because no matter what, and you talk about the issue, Rashida, as it pertains to dating, mating, and relating, men of all colors have a greater issue with that than women of all colors, meaning that the most marginalized group of women have have more success in that department than the least marginalized group of men, which I think is white guys. Meaning that, a dark-skinned woman have more guys in her inbox than a white guy has women in his inbox, is what I'm getting at. So, like, that being the case, you're privileged in that regard. So, to men, you're speaking from a privileged perspective. Fellas, you know what I mean, right?
I know exactly what you mean, bro.
Yep,
but
exactly.
I just she's not going. I don't think she can see anything but color, man, and I think that's sad for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like my light skin ass interjected myself into dark skinned issues. Do you see? Like it's so divisive. I'm like, it was fine when men were up there having discussion, when a light skinned woman was up here and co-signing what she was saying. So no, I met her. She's real cool, right? But when I come in and say, no, I'm sorry, I heavily disagree, and I'm light-skinned, right? Because she couldn't really tell what Cherry was. But I'm obviously light-skinned, and I disagree with how divisive and hypocritical she is, right? That is, stay your light-skinned ass out of dark-skinned issues. Yeah, you see light-skinned people, so who hates who? Do light-skinned people hate on dark-skinned women? Or do dark-skinned people like you hate on everyone but yourself?
I have to say one thing. I think this is a bigger issue than it actually seems, because in other countries such as like Haiti, their colorism is actually a thing where it comes with wealth. But here I think it's more of how Hollywood has projected light skin versus dark skin, where sometimes in those interracial relationships, most of the time the female is a biracial female. So I think a lot of that has to do with Hollywood, and I think with dark skin TV, her comments are very divisive and just will further fuel the anti-black point. So that's just my say on it.
I mean, back up what you were saying, and you said you had spent time in Southeast Asia. their colorism is based on, a system where, well, they say, I mean, we can go off, if we go off what they say it goes back to an age where the wealthy, the upper class could work indoors and not face the sun. The lower class were out in the sun. But across
Yep.
the globe, this globalism thing is it's an issue. But anytime skin tone is just skin tone, it's just one factor. And anytime you have any factor, whether it be height, whether it be anything, you're going to have there's going to be a preferential side and a non-preferential side. We have to accept that. We just have to accept that and move on, because I feel like this is making a big deal. Because if men are breaking, what did you say, twigs? If men are breaking twigs and looking at that, listen, these are not men who. These are probably those guys I was talking about earlier. You're skinny, you wearing skinny jeans, and you're sagging. Like, why are we talking about these guys? If a man is doing having, if a man could break down a gang into a phenotype, what kind of mental state are the people we're talking about? And this is another big difference between the black women and black men today. Like, we can't consider these people. We cannot consider these people, but yet these people are still, I guess, sought after. They still getting draws, yet they should not be.
Well, if I could add one thing, because I think to an extent, like on one side I hear you like us kind of like we should stop some of this, but on the other side we have to remember like that this culture that will say the 30, 35 pluses have been creating for the younger generations coming up. Do you guys remember they did like a little pseudo documentary just talking about colorism, but it was just more going around this high school and just asking kids in the high school what they think about light skinned girls and what they think about dark skinned girls. And the things that came out of their mouths was just tragic and clearly also not true, but it's the way that they think. So, and then confirmation bias is just going to further kind of shore up that point. So by the time you get out of high school, you really believe some of this really stereotypical junk, right? And then because you believe the stereotypical junk, then you're passing that on to your peers, to your kids, whatever. So I do think like there is a need to address some of the negative stereotypes. Like Melody said, you want to talk about bad attitude? That's not like a dark-skinned woman issue, right? It's like a black issue. Right? So, but it's really unfair at the end of the day, that, well, you see a light-skinned woman and she's giving the bad attitude, right? You're more likely to kind of dismiss that in your mind in favor of remembering that she was hot and light-skinned. But the dark-skinned woman, even if she was like hot, well, you're gonna be like, oh, see, angry black woman, see? And so it's all about the way that we buy into the stereotypes and perpetuate them. So I do think that there's something to be discussed and an issue to be had. I just think that there's a way to do it that's productive and that, kind of corrects an issue and brings us together versus one that's really divisive and if anything just creates more hate.
I just want to say one thing. Some of the most successful women are either dark skin or brown skin, such as, even with Michelle Obama, Winsome Sears, Oprah Winfrey. So I think it's more related to, like, I guess, a flaw within the culture where it's sometimes like, like this image that dark women are rash, ghetto, combative. It has something to do with like what our family tells us or what the media tells us, because the most successful women are dark skinned. It's not light skinned, it's dark skinned.
I think it goes back to what GameChanger was saying at the beginning of us in reinforcing those stereotypes and the way that she attacked her is like this bitch and this bitch that and this bitch that. What did you do? You just reinforced the stereotype, the combative nature. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you basically just did it to yourself. So it's very odd, strange to me.
That's true.
It's different types of attraction that she's going for. There's an economic attraction, which is something that Oprah and Michelle Obama has, and then there's just the general attraction to the opposite sex, versus compared to others. And I think that that's what she's more concerned about, which, that may or may not be the case with Michelle Obama, but it definitely is the case with Oprah. She's not considered a hot commodity. So yeah, there's. I think that was the real concern that people who worry about colorism complain about. Because notice that Fresh and Fit, they weren't saying that they wouldn't hire a dark skinned woman. They're saying that that's not their mating and relating preference. So I'm gonna do closing thoughts and then I'm gonna close down. So I will start with Carlton and end with Ruby. So Carlton, what's your closing thoughts?
All right, thanks, Game Changer, for bringing me up here, brother. I just want to say, we as a people, two things. Number one, we have to stop fighting the Battle of Gettysburg. When do we even understand that our children are now leaning towards rainbow, the new Rainbow Coalition, and everything that they agree with? What about the fact that people are wanting to tear down the system of capitalism and replace it with a socialist, communist type system? There's a whole nother type of war going on. The very culture, the essence that made us so great. That regardless of where you are and what you believe, Black people tend to always look back at that same time period. We have lost everything from that time period, and yet we over here in the Battle of Bunker Hill. It's just it's just got to stop. We need to open our eyes and see what is really going on.
Okay, appreciate you, Melody.
I just want to say, being undesirable have no color. Dark skinned women are beautiful, light skinned women are beautiful. It's just the attitude. I don't think color plays a part in anything. It's Black women in general. Black women, we need to do better. And that's it.
Okay, thanks a lot.
You're
All
welcome.
right, and Wizard X.
Thank you for having me. And I think Game Changer made an excellent point with ethnic image. And dark skinned women, there are beautiful dark skinned women, there are beautiful light skinned women. Overall, dark skinned women will be overlooked due to the ethnic image associated with the stereotypes. And what dark skinned women can do is change that stereotype. And it starts off with the mothers teaching their children, better habits and trying to improve the cultural image. So I think this was a very helpful discussion, and thank you for letting me on.
All right, thanks for coming up. All right, and classic group. Oh wait, did I do? Oh, Pretty Boy.
Thanks a lot, Game Changer, for letting me come up. This was a very interesting conversation, but I kind of stand by what you said. We have to stop perpetuating these stereotypes. If we want to see any type of change, we can't go and think that we're going to be treated one way, but then want to be treated one way, but then act an entirely different way, and that goes across the board. So, thanks for letting me come up, brother. Thank
Okay,
you.
appreciate you. And Ruby.
Okay, well, first I want to say, obviously, I agree with we need to stop perpetuating stereotypes. And even though it's difficult, it might feel unfair in a moment, controlling your temper and your emotions so you get your point across without falling into the muck is the best way for you to at least rise above that. And if you don't care to do that, well, then, you can't control your emotions. You also can't control people's opinion of you. And if you don't like people's opinion of you, the only thing you can do is change you. But I also wanted to say really quickly, it's really great fantasizing what the other side has. And so constantly talking about how light-skinned women have the advantage as far as sexual selection. You think about that on one side, but then you forget about the other side where therefore, you're not being taken seriously. Your intelligence and your hard work's not going to be taken as seriously because, oh, well, she's sexy, she probably blew her way to the top and blah, blah, blah. Things you don't have to necessarily deal with. So there are downsides to everything. And there are also upsides to everything. So, I think rather than getting stuck in the downside and stuck in the victimhood mentality, the best thing you could do is work with what you got and improve what you can and rock what you have. Those are my 2 cents.
Okay, appreciate you a lot. Thanks for coming up. All
Thanks for
right.
letting me.
And Jacqueline says, my woman is light skinned and I defend her. Well, there you go. She's light skinned. All right. With that, I want to thank the Cash Apps and Super Chats, managers and moderators, those who listen silently, and those who participate in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell twice. This is Game Changer 00100. Game over. Peace.